solid nucleus of youngsters to build for the future as they rev it up here at the Target Center.
Absolutely deafening. They've got the theme throughout the league is the Hog Harley coming in, and they just introduced the Minnesota Fighting Pike, Texas's opponent tonight. As you notice, they all coming running through the dark and the smoke, and we're about to get ready for action tonight.
I thought we were playing Hell's Angels for a minute. I was getting concerned, but now the lights go on.
Here we go.
The Target Center, of course, home to the Minnesota Fighting Pike, as well as the Minnesota Timberwolves basketball team here in Minneapolis, where it's been a great day in the 80s today, a little cooler than home. And the Texas Terror getting ready for the game. Doug will have another new face in the lineup, either starting at fullback or getting a lot of action. Be right back in a moment, folks.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the
Kathy Banta.
As I was saying, Doug, just before the national anthem, I may have said James Dickey. I meant to say James King. Jimmy will be at fullback tonight, coming out of the CFL, and Coach John Paul Young continues and will, even in the next couple of weeks, continue to look at new players as he wants to build for the future.
Absolutely. James King is a guy that they feel like can really help them. And that's, you know, you don't add a guy to an 0-11 team if you're not really looking towards the future. And John Paul Young's been coaching for 35 years, coached underneath Bum Phillips, has coached forever, it seems like, and that's what he's doing, is he's trying to build towards next season.
You know, this has been a typical expansion year for teams in all sports. You struggle greatly. But in this game in particular, it's not just expansion football, but it's brand new football for many of the Texas Terror players. And that's not making an excuse at all, Doug, because the team has made some mistakes along the way. But the truth is that you have had players learning a game, and there's Coach John Paul Young. You've had players learning a game, learning the angles on the field, learning that on defense, how much room they can give the other receivers. And you've had defensive players learning to play offense and offensive players learning to play defense. And we have seen the team progress and get better as we've gone through week to week. I think a good model for this ball club to look to, and John Paul Young agrees, is the Milwaukee Mustangs, who didn't win a game their first year, won 4 last year, and this year have already won 10 games on the season.
There we have the head coach there, Ray Yock, head coach of the Minnesota Fighting Pike. He was one of the original members of the first team 10 years ago in the Arena Football League team. He's been a coach several times, and he is struggling this year as well with an expansion team, the Minnesota Fighting Pike.
Texas has won the toss. And maybe that's a good sign. They haven't won too many of the coin flips. I mean, this has been a season where, and at halftime, we're going to have some fun looking back at this season, our televised games here on UPN 20, some of our halftime shows, some of the interesting plays and great plays of the season. But anytime you have a season where your mascot is called for a personal foul, as Frank was in the Summit a couple of weeks ago, you know that that's a great story from your expansion year that you can laugh about a couple of years down the road, but when it's happening, it's not too funny.
That's right. When you're in the playoffs, you can laugh about it. I think one of the interesting things to point out, we've got 7 guys out there, and we're about to find out who's going to be the 8th guy coming out to kick. In warm-ups,
Ty
Stewart, the kicker, was warming up, and he basically sprained his ankle and appeared to sprain it very badly. He's not out there yet. Here he comes.
I just saw him kick one, Doug, and he looks like he's recovered.
Does it look like he's recovered? I mean, he was down for a while, and they were, you know, we were very concerned about his health. I think they were thinking.
I wasn't concerned. I was hoping he was hurt. No, I'm just kidding.
No, not hurt bad. Just bad enough for this week.
Look, if the kicker sprains his ankle and he misses the game, that's not a bad injury. That's just a good break.
That's right.
In fact, they were so concerned they sent one of their backup players all the way home to get his kicking shoes.
That's exactly right. Yeah, he kicked. Evidently, Eric Jennings, their backup offensive specialist, kicked in high school, and so he's been sent home to get his shoes. You'd think that's kind of a wild story. So we'll keep you updated on Mr. Ty Stewart and how his ankle holds up tonight. Who
was not the kicker when the Fighting Pike was in the Summit to take on the Texas Terror to open up the season. Their original kicker went on to be picked up in the CFL. Ty Stewart has 13 field goals on the season. And Tyrone Thurman, the exciting player that fans have had a chance to watch the last 3 weeks in the Summit, will be set for the kickoff. And Stewart's foot looks okay. It's going to be off the net, down to Tyrone Thurman, up to the 5, and hammered down on about the 7-yard line.
Yeah, that's the first time in a while that Tyrone Thurman hadn't made something exciting happen, as Nate Johnson, big offensive defensive lineman, ends up making the hit on that play. But I tell you, Tyrone Thurman has been one of the exciting players to watch this year, Dan. We see here Robert Hall last week, what he did against Florida, passed for 242 yards and 4 touchdowns. Had a pretty good game, and they just, I think, really, Dan, need to jump out to a lead tonight.
Robert Hall set, and Jimmy King at fullback starting tonight for the Terror. And it's into the stands. Souvenir time to start the night over the hands of 5'3" Tyrone Thurman. Doug, what do you think about that, of not only adding a player to the roster here the 12th week of the season, but having him start in front of Andy Coball, who's played fairly well for the club?
I tell you, it's wild to me, Dan, to think a guy that can come in that hadn't been on the roster and be able to pick it up and play as well as those other guys. But, you know, John Paul Young's been doing this a long time, and I'm assuming he knows what he's doing. This must be a talented young man. And he's never played arena football before, so this is from CFL to arena football. Good blocker, good linebacker, and he may not get a lot of carries tonight. Robert back on second down, gets away. Nice toss down to Rodney Blackshear, and it's incomplete. Down to about the 21, the attempt. Rodney Blackshear, who has just been terrific. We talked about him at the top of the game. He and Robert Hall have linked up for 7 touchdowns in the last couple of weeks, and that will bring up 3rd down and 10 for the Texas Terror as Robert gets the play from offensive coordinator Bob Gamble. There's the starting lineup. Clark, Heidenreich, Lockett up front. Dickey, Thurman, Davis, Hall, and King. Just underway here in the Target Center in Minneapolis. Robert Hall looking for Dickey. Now he goes deep to Blackshear, wide open, and he's got it. It's a touchdown. Texas Terror, Robert Hall to Rodney Blackshear. Absolutely phenomenal pass and catch. These guys used to do it in college all the time, both of them from Texas Tech University in Lubbock, Texas, of the ex-Southwest Conference. But just a terrific route there by Rodney Blackshear. Just did a little bit of a hitch and is just to slow the defensive back up, and absolutely ran right by him. And look at the protection of the offensive line. Robert Hall had all day long, was able to throw just right in step, just a perfect touchdown to start off the game. Kevin Guy was lost in his footwork as Rodney ran by Kevin Guy of the Fighting Pike, and that's what they needed to start this game off, Doug. As you said, get on the board early. Richard D. Felice in for the kick, who is getting married tomorrow night back in Missouri City, back home at 7 p.m. And he kicks the extra point. It's good. That makes the score. The Texas Terror 7, the Minnesota Fighting Pike about to get the ball. We'll be back live from the Target Center.
Chevrolet and the Texas Terror would like to thank you, the fans of Houston, for your support in our inaugural season in the Arena Football League. Thanks, Terror fans.
time is running out. The Sealy Warehouse clearance sale is on now at the Mattress Firm, where nobody sells Sealy for less. Nobody.
It's Foley's Red Apple Sale this Friday and Saturday only. Shop 8 a.m. till 11 p.m. and save up to 50%. Don't miss Foley's Red Apple Sale.
Give me 3 good reasons to get her braces.
She needs them. No money down. Only $89 a month at the Castle.
Those are good reasons.
Call the Castle today.
And we're back in the target center, the Texas Terror. Start off the night, Doug, on a positive note. This could be a lot of fun for Terror fans. Could be the first win of the season. This is a game that Terror really feel good about coming in.
No, that was a great first series, and it's going to give them confidence. And they really came in thinking they're going to win this game, and that does nothing but boost their confidence.
And Richard D. Felice, who, as we said, is marrying lovely Rena Zaza tomorrow in Missouri City. He's leaving early in the morning for that wedding, and he kicks off to the Fighting Pike. That was Adrian Lunsford back, taking it off the net, brought down by the Terror.
Terrific coverage. Maurice Smith was the first one there. It's tackle him inside the 5-yard line, just terrific coverage. And I tell you, Texas is fired up tonight as we see Ricky Foggy. He's thrown for 1,800 yards this year. And, you know, Ricky Foggy, he played 8 years, won a Grey Cup playing in the Canadian Football League. So this young man is a very talented player.
He's had a pretty good season, 26 touchdowns and only 13 interceptions for almost 1,900 yards. Last week, 18 of 41. And Foggy's under pressure. And it's intercepted and dropped, I believe, by Maurice Smith, and the officials do say that it hit the ground. It looked like from this angle that he dropped it. He had a perfect opportunity, and boy, Doug, that would have been a big interception, because that would have been a 14-0 lead.
Yeah, he just had open territory in front of him, and this has happened quite a bit, as we see. Really had the ball in there. The ball hit. Good call by the officials. Maurice Smith is kicking himself. We've had drops like that during the season, Texas has, and things like that would really break the game open. They need to make the plays like that.
Foggy back on 2nd down, and terrible pass. It looked like it may have floated out of his hands, looking for Tony Harris over on the right side. Here's the starting offensive lineup for the Pike. Sunvold, Krulikowski, and Johnson, Lassane, Brown, Alvin Ashley at the wide receiver spot, Howard behind Foggy. And Brown and Lassane have both caught 12 TD passes. He has a talented group. Bruce Lassane, Alvin Ashley, and Reggie Brown, all 3 very talented receivers for the Fighting Pike. Little motion by Danny Lockett. And then Steve Clark ran in. We'll see where the call goes if against the Pike. That's referee John Sophie about to make the call for us.
Defense calls it. Offsides, defensive end.
All sides on the Texas Terror. We're just underway. 10:38 to go, still in the first quarter.
I'll tell you, Danny Lockett did come off the ball a little bit, but he did end up getting number 56, Nate Johnson, to move. And a lot of times they'll call that offsetting, or they'll even call that against the offense. The offensive player really, the defensive player can go into the neutral zone like that, but Texas didn't get the call there, and that's a 3-yard penalty for Minnesota.
That will make it 2nd and 7. Man in motion at the top. Foggy going out to the right side and has Bruce Lassane. His 53rd catch of the season for the Fighting Pike. Takes it up to about the 17, and that will be good enough for a first down. Here's the Terror defense. Steve Clark from the University of Houston. Darrell Lane, Danny Lockett. Lane and Lockett, 2 of the newer additions midway through the season, along with Dickey and Davis. Maurice Smith, who has been with the team on a defensive specialist position from the beginning in the starting lineup. And there's Reggie Brown. Complete, it's fumbled. And the officials, I don't see a call. The officials are saying it's down. As Kendrick Bell came up with the ball, but the officials say no.
The official's saying it's down, but he spotted it right where Kendrick Bell recovered the fumble.
Explain that to me.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I think they may have just kind of, I think they may have just blown the whistle a little bit early, but it looked like he really had not gotten down. It looked like he was kind of rolling over the top, and the ball came out. And a lot of times you'll see that it ends up being a fumble. I think the ball was released.
Back to live action. Ricky Foggy has just thrown an incomplete pass. That will bring up 2nd and 10. Again, Foggy's had a very good season in this inaugural season for the Fighting Pike.
I tell you, Dan, they're going with a no-huddle offense. That's why we weren't able to get that replay in and still see the next play. They're going with a no-huddle like we used to see a lot of teams in the National Football League do.
You saw that up in Buffalo a few times, didn't you?
Yes, we did.
When you were with the Oilers. Foggy back on 2nd down, has a man wide open over on the 6-yard line, and that's Alvin Ashley, another one of the threesomes, the favorite receivers coming into this game. Ashley had 54 catches and 12 TDs. Reggie Brown 52 catches and 12 TDs, along with Bruce Lassane.
Yeah, they are talented. The three amigos, they're a talented group. And Ashley here, although Maurice Smith and Kendrick Bell kind of double team him, they end up lifting him up off the ground. And one of the things that Texas really wants to do tonight, and they've got some pass rushing specialists in the game. They don't have either one of their centers, Heidenreich or Clark, in. They've got really 3 defensive ends out there, and they're really going to try to get some pressure on Foggy, who is a very mobile quarterback.
The measurement will leave them a little short, about 6 inches short of the first down.
I'll tell you, that's a big, good opportunity for Texas. 6 inches. It'll be interesting to see what Minnesota does here. A lot of teams end up just trying to run it right off guard. It's kind of tough to stop them, but it's never a sure thing with only 3 linemen in the Arena Football League on a dive play.
And you're right. Once again, they come out of the huddle very quickly. Play coming in from the bench. There's John Paul Young, along with Keith Garnett, the team's trainer. Will Reed, linebacker coach, to the right of Coach John Paul Young. And the coaches on this club have worked hard during expansion
they
season.
Sure have.
They've seen a lot of players come and go. They've had to welcome a lot of folks to Houston in the last 3 months. Handoff, and Howard up the middle for the first down. That will set up 1st and goal.
Harry Jackson right over the middle. Pretty good play. Yeah, they've had to memorize a lot of names, haven't they, Dan? You know, it's not easy. You know, normally going into the season, you get the guys, you figure out who they are. There's John Paul Young. You can tell right now he's thinking, who is that new guy out there? He scratched his head. Did you see it? That's what he was thinking.
It was Harry Jackson. Lassane in motion up the top side, and nice play by Danny Lockett, breaking through, and that play went nowhere.
Absolutely terrific play by Danny Lockett. Did not get fooled whatsoever on that little bootleg by Foggy. As we see, a little kind of a naked bootleg, and Danny Lockett said, no thank you. Come right here, Ricky Foggy. You're not getting away with that. And that's terrific, because that's tough, because that really shortens the field, or makes it real tough on, you know, 2nd and goal from the 9-yard line is much tougher than inside the 5.
7-0 here with 7:11 to go in the first quarter. Reggie Brown coming in motion to the bottom of your screen. Foggy back and has the man in motion. Reggie Brown, who circled out of the backfield into the end zone for a touchdown for the Fighting Pike.
Yeah, that was a pretty good play, basically coming around in motion and then going. When you go across the middle on such a tight field with 4 guys out, it's really tough on crossing patterns to be able to stick with your man. And we saw there Rodney Blackshear playing both ways, ended up trying to stick with him, but he just got a step on him, and Ricky Foggy put it right on the money.
And they're getting ready for the extra point.
Nice catch there by Reggie Brown.
All fingertips there. Ty Stewart, Jeff Lutz, the backup quarterback, with the hold. And the kick is up, and it's good. And with 6:18 to go in the first quarter, the score now, the Texas Terror 7, the Minnesota Fighting Pike 7. We'll be back with more Arena Football action right here on UPN 20. Stay with us.
Be careful if you come into Best Buy now through Saturday. It's our 3-day sale, which means great prices on a lot of the stuff you've been wanting to get at Best Buy. So, while you may go overboard, you won't go over budget. It's the 3-day sale. But don't wait. An event this big doesn't last long. The 3-day sale. This Thursday, Friday, and Saturday only at Best Buy.
Objective. Toyota Camry 229 monthly. Toyota Camry 229 monthly. Now. This offer will self-destruct July 31st.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
Football fans, don't miss your chance to see the Terror in action one final time this season as defending champs Tampa Bay Storm blow into the Summit on August 2nd for the last game of the year. It's Fan Appreciation Night, and you could win a Frank mask. The Texas Terror, home at the House of Horrors. Run for your life and your seat. Ty Stewart back to kick off for the Fighting Pike. 7-7 here. Doug Dawson, Dan Patrick, live from the Target Center on this Friday evening in Minneapolis.
That was a 9-play drive by Minnesota. 45 yards, 6 minutes expired.
And this will be off of the left net. Tyrone Thurman boots it out of the back of the end zone. That will place the ball out to the 5-yard line.
We haven't seen that too many times. Tyrone Thurman has been Mr. Clutch back there returning kicks. He's fourth. He's really had a great year returning kicks.
Robert Hall. Robert Hall. Complete out to Tyrone Thurman on the 11-yard line.
We have a flag down there, Dan.
And it looks like a flag down.
We got the call offsides against Minnesota, a break for Texas. As we see Coach Ray Yock trying to get his team to stay on sides. I don't understand that. We'll have second down with 3 yards to go.
Robert Hall will bring them out. And it's overthrown, looking for Lloyd Hill out about the 17-yard line on second down.
Yeah, really, he was pretty wide open. Looked like they were on a little bit of a different page. Lloyd Hill's looking over there and saying, "Robert, what happened there?" We see the offensive coordinator, Bob Gambold.
That'll bring up third down, Doug, for the Terror. 7-7 score here in the Target Center. Lloyd Hill in motion. Robert pump fake and out to Lucius Davis, and it's complete up for the first down.
Terrific play. Need to keep the chains moving. Robert Hall to Lucius Davis. Just a little bitty out pattern by Lucius Davis. Just Robert Hall in the huddle just said, just get a little bit past that first down marker and give me a chance. And we see a little pump fake there, and it's a complete pass, and Lucius Davis just gets it past for the first down.
So first down for the Texas Terror.
As we see another look.
As Andy Coball now in at fullback behind Robert Hall. And Robert going back, hits Derek McKinley. And McKinley, who had signaled as the tight end. If you were at the Summit the last couple of weeks, you'll know that Derek McKinley was a fullback the last couple of weeks. They have moved him, and that was due to injuries. They've now moved him back to the line. And Andy Coball and Jimmy King are the fullbacks and linebackers tonight, but McKinley playing the part of tight end. Remember, when they break the huddle, one of the linemen, one of the two guards, raises his hand to indicate which one is the tight end and can go out for the pass in the pass route. 3:48 to go in the first quarter. Robert back on second down. Nice effort by Tyrone Thurman before Alvin actually hammered him into the wall, and a flag is down.
We're going to see what happened there. That's the umpire for tonight's game, Rusty Spindle, and he's basically calling a holding penalty there in the center of the line for Texas. And it really looks like that was Derek McKinley. It looks like he called holding. He got a little bit past him as we get the call. No, we didn't get the call, but that's John Sophie holding on number 94 with Texas. 8-yard. That's an 8-yard penalty. That's a bad penalty.
There are officials for tonight. John Sophie, the referee. So the Texas Terror backed up a little bit. We'll keep it at 2nd down. Lloyd Hill is coming into your screen right now, in motion up the middle of the field. Robert looking for Lucius Davis and has him. A little pushing beyond, I think, what's called for, Doug, out there. No flag down. It wasn't a big push into the boards. That will be short of the first down. They're actually spotting it at midfield.
I tell you, this is a terrific play, though. Robert Hall had plenty of time there. Lucius Davis runs a good pattern, and he does get pushed back a little bit, but that's all a part of the game. You know, you're kind of trying to set the tempo early in the game, and that was an awfully good completion. Got about 13 to 16 yards needed to bring up a short yardage play.
Be about 3rd and 4 now for the Terror. Tyrone Thurman in motion with the pitch out, and he'll come up about a yard short. About a yard short. We'll see if John Paul Young brings out Richard DeFelice or if he decides to go for it. I say, Doug, you're 0-11 on the season. You go for it. But I
think they're agreeing with you. I think they've decided to go for it also.
John Paul Young has kept a pretty good attitude through this season. He knew it would be tough in an expansion year, assembling a brand new football team. Andy Coball behind Robert Hall. We'll see if he gets the handoff. Robert keeps it himself, and he pushes close to the first down, depending on the forward progress.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Dan that they gave him the first down.
And it's a first down. On 4th down, Robert Hall, the second effort, Doug, got the job done.
Absolutely terrific second effort. And Robert Hall just kept his legs moving and cranking and churning and was able to get that extra yard and get the first down. Terrific play.
So the Texas Terror keep the drive alive after the penalty. Come up with the first down. They're on the Fighting Pike 22-yard line. 22 yards from taking the lead. Tyrone Thurman in motion. A handoff to Andy Coball. Andy, out of Connecticut, wrestles down to the 13-yard line. Last week he had a terrific 16-yard run, which was the longest Terror run of the season. They tried to strip him of the ball, Doug, but he was having no parts of it. Andy's a pretty tough guy, played linebacker for 3 years.
Absolutely. Just a terrific run by Andy Coball. And you're right, Dan. Norman Brown, as you see here, instead of just tackling Andy Coball, he tries to get the ball, and it cost him because Andy Coball held on to the ball and got another 5 yards. A terrific run for Andy Coball.
That'll bring up 2nd and short. 21 seconds ticking down in this first quarter. Looking for Lloyd Hill. He has him into the boards. And that will be a first down, and that will wrap up the first quarter of play. Adrian Lunsford trying to make the play. And we'll be back with Texas Terror football here on UPN 20, where the score is the Terror 7, the Pike 7.
Welcome to the 22nd anniversary season of the Barks Animation Festival. Roll 'em. Oh, boy. Well, that sends a positive message to the kids.
Next!
Wow. Come to Daddy. Woo! Well, we're done for the day, so remember, Barks, hey, it's the one with bite.
Objective. Toyota RAV4 299 monthly. Toyota RAV4 299 self-destruct July 31st.
I love what you do for me. Toyota.
Hold on, because we're giving away a truck a day at the Isle of Capri Casino in our 28 Trucks in 28 Days giveaway. Win a new Ford Ranger, a Dodge Dakota, or a GMC Sonoma. Plus a $5,000 cash bonus if you're present when your name's called. Truck on in for the Truck a Day giveaway, where we're giving away 28 trucks in 28 days guaranteed at the Isle of Capri Casino in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
Death Wish 2. Bronson's loose again. His world is ripped apart by a new pack of kill-crazy punks.
Is this your daughter, Mr. Kersey? Mr. Kersey.
And one by one, he'll even the score his way. Death Wish 2.
Sunday night at 7 on UPN 20.
And we're back with you, Dan Patrick and Doug Dawson here in the Target Center. And Doug, a 7-7 score. This is a good start for the Texas Terror football team, particularly if they can get it in now. They've been this close 18 times this season and have not been able to come up with a touchdown. They need one right here.
They absolutely do need one right now. And this is a fantastic opportunity for them to get it in the end zone and get a lead. You know, so often they have been coming from behind late in the game, and they've been very close, but they need to jump out on a team and be able to cruise in the second half.
It's first down. Robert Hall really throwing to no one. Blackshear and Troy Dickey back there. Here's a look at first quarter stats. Doug?
We got Texas with 87 yards. Really, Texas outplaying them in the first quarter, moving the ball well. As we see, they're about to cap it off hopefully early in the second quarter with a touchdown. But just doing a super job, and I see a lot. We see just a lot of improvement from the first game when they played Minnesota.
You know, if you're wondering, the only time in the second quarter that the Terror have had the lead this year here on UPN 20 has been against Milwaukee. Let's see if they can come up with a lead again in the second quarter. Touchdown, Tyrone Thurman. The little guy comes up with it again from Robert Hall. That was a nice catch, Doug, twisting around behind his back.
Absolutely great catch. Robert Hall put the ball, and I tell you, he's been able to count on Tyrone Thurman all the way back to their college days at Texas Tech. And Robert Hall saw him open, and he said, I'm going to get this ball in there, and he just hummed it in there for a great touchdown. And just I tell you, they're looking good on offense.
13-7 as Richard D. Felice will try and put the Terror up by 7 with the extra point attempt through those 9-foot uprights, and it's up and it's good. And the Texas Terror take a 7-point lead, 14-7. Stay with us here on UPN 20. We'll be back with exciting Texas Terror action in just a moment.
Chevrolet and the Texas Terror would like to thank you, the fans of Houston, for your support in our inaugural season in the Arena Football League. Thanks, Terror fans.
Diet Dr. Pepper, the taste you've been looking for.
Sunday night on UPN 20 at 7 p.m. One of my favorites, Charles Bronson in Death Wish 2 as he hands out his own brand of justice to the street gangs of L.A. Watch Charles Bronson take care of business right here on UPN 20. And, you know, I have to, Doug, wish my wife a happy anniversary. Tonight is our 21st anniversary, and we're spending it apart here tonight. And what makes me think about it, our first date, I took her to a triple feature of Charles Bronson films. She didn't know who the guy was. So tomorrow night, we'll watch Charles Bronson together and celebrate.
Death Wish, that's correct.
21 years. And the kickoff from a man who's getting married tomorrow, Richard DeFelice. And the Texas Terror cover. And the Minnesota Fighting Pike will put it into play on their own 7-yard line. Now, Richard DeFelice earlier this season in the Summit asked Rena to marry him at halftime. She said yes.
That was definitely one of the highlights of the season.
One of the highlights of the season.
I'll tell you, we got one of the few standing ovations we've had in the Summit this year. An exciting time for those two young people starting off their lives together.
We wish them the best tomorrow. Ricky Foggy back. You don't see this much, Doug, in a shotgun formation. Reggie Brown with the completion gets away from Maurice Smith and knocked out by Troy Dickey and Darrell Lane out on the side. We have not seen a shotgun formation very often this season. They've tried a little bit of everything.
I tell you, I think that comes from an experienced quarterback. So often, when I was playing with the Oilers, if Warren Moon wanted to go into shotgun so he could see the field a little bit better, they'd let him. Ricky Foggy's been in the Canadian Football League for 8 years, played at the University of Minnesota back all the way in 1985. That's my generation. He's an old man. If he wants to be in the shotgun, they say, go ahead and take it from the shotgun. And he completed a good pass there to his receiver, Reggie Brown.
So you're saying you're an old man?
I am an old man. For football, I am. That's correct.
Foggy still back in the shotgun position. And looking for Reggie Brown again, and he has him again. Maurice Smith with the tackle. That will be short of a first down.
Tell you, he's pretty deep in that shotgun. He's about 7 yards back, throws that sidearm ball. A great completion for about 9 yards to Reggie Brown. Reggie Brown, you can tell, is kind of his go-to guy. But I tell you, Ricky Foggy back, I think he feels like he can see the field a little bit better from shotgun. Doesn't feel like they're rushing him so quickly.
Sure takes the heat off the pass rush. Alvin Ashley in motion, looking for Allen. And Allen's going to waltz, prance, dance, slide into the end zone to tie up the score. That's the second time, Doug, as we've called the men in motion. Reggie Brown on the previous touchdown, as we called Alvin Ashley in motion. They've been wide open crossing the field.
I tell you, Ricky Foggy just throws an absolute bullet, and Alvin Ashley makes just a great move on Kendrick Bell. And I tell you, when you see him do that about 2 yards short, you almost want to run up and still hit him. But they did not do that, which was good, because that would have been 8 yards for Minnesota.
Looked like he was trying to be Deion Sanders out there. All he'll have to do is get a 40,000 golf cart. Maybe he can be halfway there. Ty Stewart up into the net, and that ties the score. Folks, I think we're in for a good one tonight with a lot of fun here on UPN 20. 14-14. We'll be back. Stay with us.
Hey, how much do you think your boss makes? $100,000? $200,000? More? Wouldn't you rather be the boss?
Then come to the Be Your Own Boss Expo. See the latest franchises, home businesses, free seminars, part-time opportunities, and more.
I never dreamed I could be living like this. It's such a relief to have extra money.
Now I have time to spend with my family.
There's no better job security than being your own boss.
Now I work for me.
This weekend only at George R. Brown Convention Center.
It's terrific.
It was a night of terror, and those who survived will never forget Halloween.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Jamie Lee Curtis is running for her life in the horror classic of all time. The first of its kind to make a box office killing. The original Halloween.
Saturday at 3 on UPN 20.
And they're hot tubbing it here in the Target Center. Texas Terror football, an exclusive property of the Texas Terror Arena Football Club and UPN 20. KTXH TV. Any rebroadcast or use of the video and audio portions of the telecast without the express written permission of the Texas Terror and KTXH TV is prohibited and will dunk you in the hot tub.
I tell you,
and those feet aren't smelling good either.
I tell you, being in that hot tub, watching it up on the big screen up on top, that would really be pretty fun.
Scoring play, 3 plays, 43 yards, 220. It didn't take the Fighting Pike very long to knot up the score at 14-all with 10:58 to go. There's Ty Stewart and friends back there. I don't think she's part of the kickoff coverage team. Yeah, Ty called for a pizza, by the way, right before the kickoff. And he'll grab a bite after it hits the net, and it misses the net. That's a great break, Doug, because, of course, the rules mean when you miss the net, it comes out to the 20-yard line, and that's where the Terror will put it in play.
And we have a happy fan there that made a great catch. Ty Stewart's probably tomorrow in films, he's probably going to blame it on his ankle that he sprained in warm-ups. But here we see that fan makes a great catch, and he is pumped up. In the Arena Football League, if the ball comes to the stands, it is your $90 souvenir that you get to take home with you.
They've gone up 15 lately, huh? They were 75.
Retail, I mean, you got taxes. I mean, it's a lot.
Yeah, do you have to report that on your income tax if you get a football? I don't think so. No.
I think you do.
They've been putting a lot in the stands in the summer. Of course, Tampa Bay coming up August 2nd. Get your tickets for the finale with the Terror. And Robert Hall, what a hit and a drop, unfortunately, by Tyrone Thurman, who got helmeted right on the that point, right on the top of the head right there.
Yeah, right on the helmet. Just a big hit.
Tried to catch the ball.
And he's kind of up for it, trying to tuck down. And, I mean, you could hear that hit all the way up here as Tony Harris hit him. And I guess Tony Harris is 5'10". I mean, he's going to hit him on top of the helmet. For you, those of you who have not followed Texas Terror that much this year, Tyrone Thurman is 5'3", 150 pounds. He was about as big as the 4th grade neighborhood kid, and yet he's out here competing and doing a great job.
And a terrific player. Troy Dickey in motion. Robert Hall looking for Troy. No, he looks off Troy. Now back to Troy. And nice fingertip grab right off the turf. He looked away from Troy and was looking for Rodney Blackshear deep for the end zone, but coverage made him go back to Troy.
And I tell you what the great sign here is, early in the season, we just had a tremendous amount of problem, Texas did, protecting the quarterback. And that time, Robert Hall took a little step left, but he had a lot of time to go away from his primary receiver and catch and end up seeing Troy Dickey in the right on a short pattern as a secondary receiver. So that's terrific protection by the offensive line.
Robert Hall out of Texas Tech. It's 3rd down and about 4 yards. Looking for Blackshear and touchdown, Texas Terror. Another Hall to Blackshear combination. Doug, these guys are excited.
These guys are unbelievable. The 8th touchdown catch by Rodney Blackshear in the last 3 games. Robert Hall and Rodney Blackshear used to do it every single day in practice at Texas Tech University, and they've finally been together about 7 or 8 weeks, and they're doing it all game long. Rodney Blackshear, I talked to a defensive back, Brian Dubisky out of Texas Tech in 1991. He played with both those guys, and he said Rodney Blackshear absolutely runs the best patterns of anybody he ever covered, even guys that are playing in the National Football League. So he can get open, and he did that time.
Touchdown number 12 on the season, and most of those, Doug, have come late in the season for Rodney Blackshear, as he has gotten his timing down with Robert Hall. And Richard D. Felice makes it 21-14, the Texas Terror. The Minnesota Fighting Pike about ready to take the kickoff.
It just got very high, that incredible universe. Very high. It's something we call 2 torrid days. It burns 9 to 9 on Saturday till closing time on Sunday, with blazing hot deals throughout the store. Even no interest for 12 months on everything. 2 torrid days at Incredible Universe.
Wah, 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 wah. Wah, wah, wah.
That is good, bad. That is bad and ugly there.
I tell you, this is my all-time. This is my Rio Bravo and the Good, Bad, and the Ugly. These are the 2 greatest Westerns ever. Clint Eastwood, Lee Van Cleef, Eli Wallach. This is the one that made Clint a superstar.
Next Thursday at 7 p.m.
At 7, Clint Eastwood hits the trail in search of lost gold.
I tell you,
Lee Van Cleef and Eli Wallach co-star in the Sergio Leone Classic. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly next week, right here on UPN 20. Come on, Cowboy. What do you want to say?
That kind of describes our booth, you know? You got me, I'm the good, and then you describe the bad and the ugly.
Wah, 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 wah.
All right, hey, we're having fun tonight because we have the Texas Terror up on the Minnesota Fighting Pike 21-17 as Mr. D. Felice about to kick off.
And it's deep off the top of the net, and this is a live ball, and it's covered by Kevin Guy down on the 5. That was up for grabs, and Rodney Blackshear was close to it. Blackshear 2 TDs on the night already.
I tell you, Richard DeFelice before the game came up and said, Doug, look how low the middle thing hanging down. What is that thing called? The scoreboard hanging down over the middle of the field is. But he basically said, you know, normally he kicks off from the middle of the field, but this week he said, it's too low, I have to kick off from the side. And that was a phenomenal kick. That thing was at the very top of the net, bounced back almost into the field of play, and they almost got a big break.
There's Richard DeFelice, again getting married tomorrow. He didn't even seem nervous, Doug.
No, he didn't.
Foggy back up under center this time, and he's wrapped in the end zone. Reggie Brown with the completion. Foggy took a shot by, I think it was Wayne Dixon that drilled him, but he looks like he's okay. That will bring up second down.
I tell you, Reggie Brown looks awfully good. I think they're giving him a lot of respect, as they're playing pretty far off of him there. Rodney Blackshear's scored a couple touchdowns, doesn't want to give up any, so he's kind of giving him a little bit of a cushion, and Foggy's hitting him underneath for a pretty good 8-yard completion.
2nd and 2, and they've mixed it up so far tonight. They've gone without a huddle. They've gone from the shotgun up under center, pump fake, and Kevin Guy wide open, beats Maurice Smith. And that, if they make the extra point, will tie the score up. And this is a shootout tonight, Doug, between two expansion teams trying to say which one is better.
I tell you, that was a terrific pattern. It was an out-nut pattern by Alvin Ashley. He does a little pump fake. Ricky Foggy does. He turns up, and Maurice Smith just barely got beat by about a yard, but a yard's all it takes when you have an experienced quarterback like Ricky Foggy. Puts it right on the money. Touchdown, the Fighting Pike.
And you're right, it was Alvin Ashley with the reception, not Kevin Guy. Ty Stewart now in for the extra point. The hold of Jeff Lutz. And he misses to the right. And that will keep the Terror in front by just a skosh. 21-20, 6:28 to go.
Courage Under Fire is the best reviewed film of the year, a masterpiece. Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. It's powerful and highly entertaining, says Gene Siskel. 4 stars. The first serious Oscar contender of 1996.
I'm gonna find out the truth, I guarantee you that.
And Rolling Stone magazine calls it one of the best films of the year. Denzel Washington, Meg Ryan, Courage Under Fire, rated R. Now playing only in theaters.
Just a skosh, as I said, Doug. Just a point, just a little bit.
I tell you, it's going to come back and haunt them. I mean, we are going to see a 1-point victory tonight by the Texas Terror, or my name is not Dan Patrick's broadcast partner.
Is that what you go by?
That's what I go. Hey, I mean,
it's on the back of all your suits?
Absolutely. I mean, when I say that, I mean, I get a tremendous amount of respect, especially at the station that you work at. You know, that's the only place I really use it, to be honest.
Well, Ty Stewart, who we said at the top, sprained his ankle. The last time he missed all of the nets. That's missing 69 feet, folks. Now he misses the extra point. Let's see if he can foul off one more time. This one will come off of the net down to Tyrone Thurman. Little Tyrone up to the 10. Oh, hammered. Looked like a fan came out of the stands. Actually, it was just the Fighting Pike on the coverage. 2 plays, 45 yards, 1:59 in time. The Minnesota Fighting Pike haven't fooled around getting back in the game every time Texas sprints out ahead by a touchdown.
I tell you, this is what the Arena Football League's all about, though. High-scoring contest. We had a team score in the 90s a few weeks ago, and this is going to be a scoring battle. And I tell you, with Robert Hall and Robert Blackshear and Tyrone Thurman, I'm going to bet on Texas.
Movement in the line.
I'll tell you, last time this happened, it was on Texas, moved a little bit on defense, and they gave it to Minnesota. So they better be offsides against Minnesota if they're going to be consistent.
Waiting for the call
on the defense.
And they decided to be consistent. I like these officials. They're doing a good job. Have you noticed this year, Dan, that every time that Texas gets a call, I feel like the officials are doing a good job? I wonder what that's all about.
As an offensive lineman for years in college ball and the NFL, you probably felt the same way, didn't you?
Hey, the defensive linemen, they're brickheads. They're not very smart.
You never held in your life, did you?
No, never.
Robert Hall, 8 for 12 on the night, 85 yards. Looking for the little guy, Tyrone Thurman, across midfield. Boy, I'll tell you what, Kevin Guy pushing back a little bit.
I tell you, Dan, Tyrone Thurman lowered his shoulder on Kevin Guy and ran him over and gets up, and Kevin Guy pushes him just because he's saying, you know, that's ridiculous. A 5'3" guy runs me over. But take a look at this. Good protection. Robert Hall stands back, hits one of his favorite receivers, and Tyrone Thurman lowered his head, and he gets up bowing and talking. He doesn't run guys over very often. When he does, he's going to let you know it, which was a great play by Tyrone Thurman.
See, Tyrone has an opportunity to run over them or under them at 5'3".
Exactly right.
There he is in motion, the near side, and Robert fake pumping to Tyrone. Has him wide open now, and he beat Alvin Ashley that time. I think Ashley may have stumbled down, leaving Ty open. That's a first down to the 5.
I'll tell you, they're going to move the ball all day long like this if they'll continue to get phenomenal protection like Robert Hall had on this play. I mean, he stood back there, took a little step to his left, but he delivered the ball 3 seconds before anybody was even thinking about getting there. Look at the protection that he had. And when you got guys like Tyrone Thurman out there, juking, moving around, you're going to get open as long as you can protect your quarterback. Terrific job by the offensive line.
And that offensive line, Derek McKinley, Kevin Harris, Wayne Dixon, down to Lloyd Hill on the 1. And they stopped him there. Going to make it second and short. A little pushing and shoving.
I tell you, you got it.
And there's a flag being thrown out of camera range. And there's Kevin Guy again, who was mixing it up before with Tyrone Thurman. Looks like he's out for a fight.
Well, I tell you, this is going against Texas, and it's a costly error because it moves them all the way back to the 9-yard line. You know, Lloyd Hill's got to keep his composure. He can't do things like that, but you almost can't blame him.
After the play was over, personal foul on the offense.
You know, personal foul on number 80, Lloyd Hill, and you can't, it's hard to blame him because on this, take a look. They end up holding him up in the air, and really late in the play, the officials have got to protect him. They've blown it for about 3 seconds, and here comes a guy really late and hits him right in the...
How do you call that against the Texas Terror? That's a late hit.
Right in the ribs.
That's a late hit.
It absolutely is. And guys like that, Lloyd Hill, I mean, that's his career that they're flashing in front of his eyes, and he doesn't want to do that.
I told you not to give those officials too much credit too soon.
Well...
Robert Hall looks for Lloyd again. Now looks for Lucius, and he's got him. Touchdown, Texas Terror. Lucius Davis on the receiving end for Robert Hall's 4th TD pass of the night.
Terrific play. Robert Hall just looks terrific, keeping his poise, completing. I don't know how many in a row that is, but just looks terrific. Little crossing pattern here. Well, I guess Lucius Davis was the wide receiver on the left and comes across, takes a big hit in the end zone. That's what these wide receivers, they get a chance to catch a touchdown. They don't mind taking a hit like that. Terrific pass and catch, and we have another touchdown for Texas.
Richard DeFelice trying to extend the Terror lead to 8 points. Of course, there are 2-point conversions in this league, but this would definitely put the Terror up by 8. Oh, this snap. And, you know, Doug, that's a shame because since you can't rush from the outside, they could have set themselves a little bit better, but...
Absolutely, they could have done that. Yeah, Richard DeFelice shouldn't have acted like he was going out in a pattern. We see Robert Hall, tremendous concentration, tremendous poise. He's got a ton of confidence in his offensive line, and we see Lucius Davis taking the big hit, making the big catch for a touchdown. But that is a big extra point that Richard DeFelice missed. It threw him off a little bit by the snap.
Folks, don't forget, there's another game left in the Summit, the finale against the Tampa Bay Storm. Fan Appreciation Night, August the 2nd, a couple of weeks from tonight. Be there as the Texas Terror want to say thank you to the great support they've had in a tough season without a win. The fans have really been great, and they want to thank you that night. The House of Horrors, run for your life and your seat. August 2nd against the Tampa Bay Storm, one of the very best teams in the league. So it'll be an exciting game.
They really have. We see the scoring drive, 4 plays, 40 yards, great touchdown reception by Lucius Davis. And I tell you, Dan, the players are the ones that appreciate the fans the most. I mean, obviously the organization and the coaching staff, but nobody appreciates it more than those players. And they've commented to me, I mean, the fans have really stood behind them all year long in a tough season, and that's why they have kept fighting and kept playing, and we've seen so much improvement this year as we see a big lead tonight, almost at halftime.
This is the best half of football they have played all season, defensively and offensively.
Well, defensively, they need to stop them here.
But still, only giving up 20 points in the half. They need to make a stop here, but they've played. This is the best half of football all season. Alan Ashley sticking the ball out over the 10-yard line, brought down by Jimmy King. Yeah, the fan support at the Summit this year has been terrific, Doug, and what has impressed me is the fans have really been into the games. They've had a lot of fun, and I know the Terror have been disappointed. They have not been able to deliver a win, but I see a real solid future for arena football in Houston, that they'll grow. Not only will the team grow from here, but the fans will grow.
Well, it's just a fun game to come to and bring the fans. I mean, bring your family.
They're back in a shotgun position. Once again, Reggie Brown circling in motion, and that's the man that Foggy looked to. And every time they circle, of course, there's always a man in motion, but they've made a looping motion behind the quarterback. They've done that 3 times, 2 times for TDs, and that time for successful completion. The Terror need to be looking for that.
I tell you, good rush there, but take a look at Lloyd Hill here. He gets his guy back. Look at that whack. Kind of late in the play, as we see the snap coming up from the center on the shotgun, and a terrific rush by the newest addition, James King, to the Terror roster. Good hit on Ricky Foggy, and things like that will come back, and Ricky Foggy will start looking a little shorter, looking for that rush.
Bruce Lesane with the handoff. Gets into Terror territory. 1:51 to go in the first half. Of course, there'll be new clock rules with 1 minute to go. The clock will stop in the last minute.
Say, this is the time for the defense to stand up and be noticed. Offensively, they just really look terrific. And right here, they need to really put a stop to them. I'd be surprised. I think that I'm not sure if Mr. Stewart will make the field goal, so they need to stop him right here.
Second down. And there goes Reggie Brown in motion again. And boy, they just telegraph this every time, Doug. I mean, I can see it every time. Ricky Foggy isn't even trying to look off. The Terror have to see that developing.
Yeah, Reggie Brown's definitely been his go-to guy all season long, and especially tonight. Reggie Brown's having a great, and Ricky Foggy you're right, he looks right the whole time. You see his eyes, never did look away from Reggie Brown. And yet Kiata Malloy, who was on the coverage there, just is given a tremendous amount of respect. Look how big of a cushion he gives him. Gives him about a 15-yard cushion, and they do about an 8-yard out pattern. There's really nothing you can do about it.
You know, it's rather interesting here in the Target Center. The two teams are next to each other over on the sideline, both benches right next to each other. And up here in the Northwest, it was that way for the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers, many years. The teams always on the same side as they are there now. And Pat Pepler, who is the 74-year-old coach for the Texas Terror, had a great story about Vince Lombardi and George Halas when the Packers and the Bears were playing. Maybe we'll get a chance to tell you a little bit later. Foggy now, this time looking for Reggie Brown off his hand. What Pat Pepler, Pat's been around so long, he was an assistant under Vince Lombardi, but he said when the benches were on the same side, Lombardi, who used to always run up and down the sidelines, was running down the sidelines as there was a play that he was unhappy with the Packers, and he ran. There's Pat Pepler right there, 74 years old, and just he loves his age. He loves the fact that he's the youngest coach in the league. He likes to laugh about that. Been around a long time. But Lombardi ran smack into George Halas and knocked him down. They got up, looked at each other, didn't say a word. Both went back their separate ways.
That is a good story. I've heard of both of those guys, Halas, Lombardi.
Maybe I thought you had. 57 seconds to go out of the shotgun. Foggy under great pressure, and he is sacked all the way back to the 24-yard line. Steve Clark, Danny Lockett, Jimmy King just collapsed the Fighting Pike line.
Absolutely collapsed the pocket. Just a terrific job, and pushed them back a long way for a long third down and almost a goal to go. It'll be about 22 yards to go, but a terrific rush. Ricky Foggy, being a veteran, decided, hey, I'm not going to take this hit. I'm going to hit the ground quick.
They actually marked it on the 21. And they'll have third down and about 20 for a first down. They can get a first without scoring. There's Jimmy King, number 34, who helped.
That's Derek McKinley.
Derek McKinley, excuse me, number 34, who just.
He shaves his head, folks at home. He's not really bald. He'd be a young bald guy, wouldn't he?
Derek McKinley playing the fullback position the last couple of weeks before number 32, Jimmy King, who was on that last rush, came in and took over that job this week. So McKinley back up on the line tonight and having a good game. Had 1 pass reception as a tight end earlier in this half. 3rd and long, basically down to the 1-yard line. There's a flag down and over thrown in the end zone for Alvin Ashley. We'll see what the flag is about. Is John Sophie, the referee tonight, makes the call.
False start.
Yeah.
On the offense.
Yeah, Alvin Ashley was about 2 yards past the line of scrimmage. And you can be basically running full speed and hit the line of scrimmage, but he was about 2 yards past, and that's a little bit of an unfair advantage as they flag him for the 3-yard penalty.
It's now 3rd and 23.
I tell you, Dan, Minnesota's 2 for 2 tonight on 3rd down conversions, which is why they've scored. They haven't been stopped yet on 3rd down, so now is the time for the first to have the first stop on 3rd down.
Third down and the rest of the field. There goes Ashley in motion again. Tony Foggy under pressure. And it's complete, but it won't be enough. Won't be enough for the first down as Bruce Lesane gets down to about the 11. That will bring up 4th down. We'll see what they do. A timeout called here. John Paul Young looking on, waiting to see what the other side decides to do on 4th.
As we see here, Foggy had plenty of time, but the defensive backs for the Texas Terror were not going to give him anything deep. They basically played kind of a prevent defense and did a good job coming up and making the play to force what looks like it's going to be a field goal attempt. I'll tell you something, Dan, that's kind of humorous to me, and you'd have to be here to appreciate it, but I'll try to explain what just happened. I'm looking up at the scoreboard in the middle of the deal. They're coming out of the huddle. Foggy's bringing them up to the line of scrimmage, and you can tell they don't have much experience in the Arena Football League. This is their expansion season. The scoreboard was flashing louder, louder, louder. Well, you're supposed to be doing that when you're on defense, not when your team's on offense. You want to be able to hear. So I thought that was a little bit funny, but I think they'll get that worked out for next year.
Well, Ty Stewart, who we thought might not be kicking tonight because he tripped over the carpet coming out here about an hour before the pregame. He has kicked badly his last 3 kicks, so maybe he can shank this one.
Let's hope so. Shank it.
And waiting for the call, and
it's good from the midfield. The referee,
the official underneath didn't make the call. He's supposed to make the call.
Yeah, I guess in the National Football League in a collegiate rank, they have one under each goalpost, and I guess when they're only 9 feet apart, it's so tough. So basically, the referee from midfield ended up making the call. And I think Ty Stewart's. I think he's hurt us. As we see, that's a perfect camera angle.
That kick is, well, it's tough to tell where it curved in.
It's good.
Well, no, it could have been, it could have curved back after it was over the net. It's tough from our angle to tell. The referees gave it to them, and their decision counts more than ours. So that makes it 27-23. John Paul Young has to feel good about going into halftime with the lead because he knew tonight, Doug, if they're going to break into the win column, tonight's the night.
I'll tell you what's exciting about this, too. Richard DeFelice has one of the strongest legs in the league. Tyrone Thurman's one of the best returners in the league. They have a chance to score.
Absolutely.
They've got some timeouts left. They end up having, they stop the clock after first downs, after incompletions. They're going to get 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 plays here. And even if they don't score, they're going to be able to bring Richard DeFelice in and hopefully kick a field goal.
Well, no matter what happens, as long as they don't turn the ball over, they'll get another chance because even if it's 4th and 30 from their own goal line, Richard DeFelice will try a 58-yard to 60-yard field goal, which he's made 2 of this year.
We've seen him make it. We sure have. I tell you, he makes the long ones. He loves those long kicks. I think he just, lets it all hang out. Have we mentioned that he's getting married tomorrow
I think
night?
we mentioned. And Rena, I'm sure she's watching tonight. Once you marry him, since he's a kicker in this league, you're going to have to massage that kicking foot now.
That's right.
He's going to come home and say, honey, rub my kicking foot.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Yeah. There's Tyrone Thurman off the net, and he breaks up to the 10. Actually, I think probably she's been doing that now, and once they have the vows tomorrow, he'll come home and say, honey, rub my kicking foot. She'll say, not now, honey, I've got you.
Yeah, that's right. I'm not going to expound on that at all. I'm going to just stick with the old rubbing the kicking foot.
Well, I think a lot of those kickers wear pantyhose on their kicking leg. So, if she's one pantyhose short, she'll know where it is.
She will.
6 plays, 40 yards, 3 minutes and 12 seconds. And there's Richard D.
Looking forward to his honeymoon.
I tell you what, he's become a good friend and just a super guy. Strong Christian and just a great guy. And we wish him the best. Complete. They say it's out of bounds. That Tyrone was laying out of bounds when he caught it.
Tyrone, stay up, man. You don't have to lay down out of bounds. Just bend down a little. I mean, I'm not sure about this call. We see Robert Hall ends up. We see from his old elusive days at Texas Tech.
I don't know. Because the wall
tough.
is not out of bounds. You can be against the wall as long as your feet are in bounds. You can lean against the wall, but it was close, and the officials did not give it to the Terror. 24 seconds to go. 27-23, the Texas Terror on top. Dan Patrick and Doug Dawson here on UPN 20 from the Target Center. Great to have you with us tonight, folks. It's complete out to Lloyd Hill into the wall. That will stop the clock again in the last minute. The clock does stop for out-of-bound plays.
As our film crew and our producers have said earlier, they described us as Doug Dawson and Dan Patrick, the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, you're bigger than I am, so you're bad and ugly.
I tell you. So that is a great movie coming up Thursday night
on UPN 20. Wow, 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 wow. That play took 8 seconds. Robert Hall back, going deep, and he has Tyrone Thurman. It's a touchdown! Texas Terror, the 5th touchdown this half for Robert Hall.
Unbelievable play. Tyrone Thurman gets knocked into the boards, fights underneath the guy, and just gets wide open, and Robert Hall takes his time, has poise, has perfect protection, and just connects on a touchdown with 13 seconds left. Tremendously big play. Look how Tyrone Thurman squished underneath the guy along the boards, in for the touchdown. Unbelievable.
And watch Robert Hall off of his back foot, off balance.
Look in the right corner.
Back. That's a nice, that pass goes for about 50 yards on the mark off of his back foot. Of course, Robert Hall was a great quarterback at Texas Tech, and he's been a great story this season.
I'd say he's been a great quarterback tonight.
Absolutely. 5 touchdowns. That's a Texas Terror record. The kick up, and Richards good with the extra point. 34-23. The Texas Terror lead the Minnesota Fighting Pike. Look at that. That's a terrific athletic play, Doug.
That
50 yards on the mark.
And he's looking up going, I wonder if he's going to be there. I tell you, they pop up quick when they think it's going to be a touchdown.
There's Tyrone Thurman. And the great story about Robert Hall, folks, for those of you who weren't following the Terror from the very beginning and have become arena football fans, he came to camp with a group of quarterbacks and didn't make it as a quarterback. But John Paul Young was so impressed with his athletic ability that he challenged Robert to be a wide receiver, which he had never done, and to be the offensive specialist.
That's right. We have him down here as the offensive specialist. We haven't even I mean, that's basically what he played most of the season. I think one of the important things to point out here is, and what people may not realize, and we say it, you hear the word Texas Tech quite a bit. Robert Hall has 3 guys that he used to throw to when he was playing in college. Tyrone Thurman was one of his receivers. Rodney Blackshear was one of his receivers. Lloyd Hill was one of his receivers. And I think those things, they played together for 4 years. I think those things are starting to come back, and they look at home, throwing touchdown passes, moving up and down the field. A terrific first half for Texas's offense.
You know, taking into consideration, Doug, that Robert Hall has played less than a half a season at quarterback, with tonight's touchdowns, he now has 18 touchdowns on the season. That's in about 5 weeks of work. And he was the emergency quarterback. He was pressed into duty. Injuries kept occurring to quarterbacks. he's going to be tough to unseat from this starting position when they go to camp next year, because he's just playing so well, and I'm really happy for the young man. Another fine young man for the Texas Terror Ball Club. Off the net with 12 seconds left in the first half. We'll see if the Fighting Pike try to put it in the air one time, 9 seconds actually now, or if they'll just go for a field goal attempt here. They may have time for one play and then the field goal attempt.
Yeah, they have one timeout left, which I think would probably make it seem where they would want to get down a little bit closer for their kicker to try a field goal. Just a terrific first half of football.
This is fun. This is arena football, and this is the future.
You're right.
And this is not, for folks watching who weren't at the Summit the last couple of weeks, this is not just because they're playing another expansion team. They played Orlando, Arizona straight up in Florida the last 3 weeks, and we're in all 3 of those games into the fourth quarter, down by only 1 in one of those games. They've been playing good football. Complete and out of bounds to Reggie Brown up at the 19. That leaves only about 5 seconds, 4.9 seconds to go. They may be taking a chance if they try one more play, unless it's a quick pop out of bounds to shorten the distance for Ty Stewart. I don't know with that sprained ankle, Doug, if he can kick it very far, though, and be very accurate.
I tell you, on the kickoff, I was watching the clock as it was starting, and I think we've got a home field timekeeper. I have a feeling they're going to be able to get one more play in, because on that kickoff, the ball came down, and he was into the field of play before the clock started.
Yeah, on the field goal attempt, we don't know if he can kick it too deep with the sprained ankle. So they're going to go for it, I think, here. And there's a rush from Danny Lockett from the outside, and that will end the first half. Great defensive play. Ray Woodard out on the field to congratulate Danny Lockett. And the Texas Terror are going into the halftime locker room in a position they have not been in before, and that's with the lead, 34-23.
Look how excited they are, Dan. I mean, they are excited. Ray Woodard was excited. Unbelievable.
They're pumped up, and we're pumped up. We've got a lot of football. We have a fun halftime for you, so don't go away, folks. The Texas Terror, 34, the Minnesota Fighting Pike, 23.
Observing a 491 in progress. Request backup.
491, cow blocking parade route.
Negative. I mean a 391.
Man inciting crowd to jaywalk.
Maybe it's a 548.
Not good with numbers? Get voice dial from Southwestern Bell. Doctor's office.
Dialing.
Doctor's office.
Babysitter.
Dialing.
Babysitter.
And this is the last number you'll dial.
I wasn't there the whole day they did this.
Hey, how much do you think your boss makes? $100,000? $200,000? More? Wouldn't you rather be the boss?
Then come to the Be Your Own Boss Expo. See the latest franchises, home businesses, free seminars, part-time opportunities, and more.
I never dreamed I could be living like this. It's such a relief to have extra money.
Now I have time to spend with my family.
There's no better job security than being your own boss.
Now I work for me.
This weekend only at George R. Brown Convention Center.
It's terrific.
At Six Flags Fiesta Texas theme park, it's the all-new Joker's Revenge. Batman's arch-rival, the Joker, is up to some new tricks. Ride backwards at incredible speeds on his twisting, turning, looping steel roller coaster. Unexpected thrills from the twisted mind of the Joker. It's the only ride of its kind on Earth. And it's only at the new Six Flags Fiesta Texas in San Antonio.
There's nothing better than fresh Gulf shrimp delivered right to your door. Uh-oh.
Don't worry. Call Cons.
At Cons, you'll get the lowest price, and they'll deliver it the same day, every day of the week. Guaranteed, or your new refrigerator's free. Cons, it's your store for guaranteed same-day delivery, 7 days a week.
This fall, only UPN will bring you back-to-back nights of science fiction, and that's a fact.
Nothing can stop us, Doctor.
nothing. Prepare for the Tuesday world premiere of The Burning Zone. Then on Wednesday, it's the back-to-back premieres of The Sentinel and Star Trek Voyager.
Let's see if you manage to survive.
This fall, when you think of Tuesday and Wednesday nights, think of science fiction back-to-back. It all begins September 3rd on UPN.
And welcome back to the Target Center, where the Texas Terror, Doug, have had just a terrific first half. Robert Hall has been brilliant. 5 touchdown passes so far on the night, and we're only halfway through. 34-23.
Unbelievable first half of football. Robert Hall's looked unbelievable. His receivers are getting open. The guys are playing excited. The coaching staff's excited, and I think they thought they were going to get their first win, and they're well on their way to that.
You know, we've had a fun season here on UPN 20. Tonight is our last televised game. There are 2 more games left on the season. Of course, we've been telling the folks to be out at the Summit for Fan Appreciation Night on August 2nd. We thought tonight we'd take a look back at some of the highlights on the field, off the field. We've seen the Duggar in action a few times. We've even seen you try and take me out a few times. Would you want to be the play-by-play guy? Is that what you were trying to do?
I'm tired of you thinking you're the talent on this broadcast.
Well, you know, that's what they refer to people on mic as talent. There's talent, there's no talent. There we go. But the Texas Terror have the lead. It has been fun on UPN 20. Let's take a look back at this first inaugural season here with the Texas Terror. It has been a fun season, and this will be our last TV game working together here in UPN 20, and it's been great working with you this season.
This year?
Yeah.
This year, or maybe forever? Hopefully just this year.
And Chip Sago, who's our producer, who put that piece together, has it's been great working with Chip and all the folks in the truck. Doug Haskin, Jeff Montoni directing tonight, and we've had a lot of fun. Joel Blank, our executive producer, and it has been fun in this first inaugural season with the Terror, and I'm hoping that the second half we can have just as much fun and come back with a win.
Absolutely. I think we will, Dan. And they're the talent, to be honest. I mean, they make it easy on us. We just come here and have fun, and have fun with you folks at home, and we're just excited about this whole season, and this second half is going to be great. It
was a new adventure for all of us this season, and we have an adventure coming up for about, what, 30 more minutes in the red zone. Maybe 5 more TDs from Robert Hall. Texas Terror on top, 34-23.
There's something brand new in San Antonio. Take a look. It's the new Six Flags Fiesta Texas theme park with Bugs Bunny and friends. Come ride heart-pounding rides. Get soaked on water adventures. See fun-filled family shows. Splash around in our big free water park. And new in '96, The Joker's Revenge, our brand new backwards roller coaster. So come out today and see the Six Flags difference at the new Six Flags Fiesta Texas theme park in San Antonio. So big, so fast, so new.
It just got very high, that incredible universe. Very high. It's something we call 2 torrid days. It burns 9 to 9 on Saturday till closing time on Sunday, with blazing hot deals throughout the store. Even no interest for 12 months on everything. 2 torrid days at Incredible Universe.
It was a great day in Little Caesars history. We created a pizza with 3 kinds of pepperoni and 300% as much of it. Our best tasting pepperoni pizza ever. It was our finest hour.
Hey, that guy didn't pay!
Beef pepperoni perfection from Little Caesars. 3 kinds of pepperoni, 300% as much of it. $8.99 carried out.
Pizza.
Or have it delivered.
Courage Under Fire is the best reviewed film of the year, a masterpiece. Siskel and Ebert give it 2 thumbs up. It's powerful and highly entertaining, says Gene Siskel. 4 stars. The first serious Oscar contender of 1996.
I'm gonna find out the truth, I guarantee you that.
And Rolling Stone magazine calls it one of the best films of the year. Denzel Washington, Meg Ryan, Courage Under Fire, rated R. Now playing only in theaters.
Death Wish 2. Bronson's loose again. His world is ripped apart by a new pack of kill-crazy punks.
This is your daughter, Mr. Kersey. Mr. Kersey.
And one by one, he'll even the score his way. Death Wish 2.
Sunday night at 7 on UPN 20.
Back at halftime in the Target Center with the Texas Terror on top. Folks, are you looking for the newest and hottest in Texas Terror merchandise? The latest in Terror hats, shirts, polos, and souvenirs? Look no further. The Rocket Shop is here and fully stocked with all of your Texas Terror merchandise. Stop by the Rocket Shop in Memorial City Mall and get your Texas Terror merchandise today. The Rocket Shop also features the best selection of Houston Rockets gear anywhere. The Rocket Shop at Memorial City Mall. Also, Scott Schrock worked on that halftime piece, looking back at the highlights with our producer Chip Sago and Ryan Gove, our stat guy. We've really had a great crew all season, and it really has been fun, Doug, for us close to the team, watching them develop and watching these young kids go out there and work hard. They're one of the few teams that practice outdoors. They're practicing in 100-degree heat in Houston. These guys are putting it all on the line, trying to play good football for the fans here on television, on KPRC radio, live in the Summit, and I just hope they can hang in there for the second half. Let's take a look back at some of the first half highlights. We have a lot of them, folks, so hold on to the cushions on your sofa here. Robert Hall opened up with Rodney Blackshear to give the Texas Terror a 7-0 lead right off the bat. But Ricky Foggy and company came right back to tie up the score. Reggie Brown.
And then right back down the field comes Robert Hall. Hits 5'3" Tyrone Thurman in the corner of the end zone there for a touchdown. But once again, they come back. Minnesota comes back. Foggy to Ashley Brown. No, Adams. Alvin Adams.
No, not Alvin Adams, not Alvin Ashby, or no, it's Alan Ashby.
There's Rodney Blackshaw.
There's Rodney again. That's his 12th touchdown of the season. Then Ricky Foggy comes back one more time to tie up the score. Now,
there's that guy again. Here we have Robert Hall. Where's my spotter when I need him? That's Lucius Davis right there on the big touchdown and the big hit in the end zone. And then we see Robert Hall with only about 13 seconds left in the half off of his back foot, hitting Tyrone Thurman down the sideline for the last touchdown in that lead that we have.
So Robert Hall has 5 TDs in the first half. Rodney Blackshear catching 2 of them. Little Tyrone Thurman receiving 2 in the end zone. And Lucius Davis. It's been a great first half, a lot of fun. And I know this is the way Coach Young wanted the whole season to be. And maybe from here on out, this is the positive feel of Texas Terra football.
It has been a fun year, and it's so. You mentioned us getting close to the team and getting close to the players. I talked to some of them before the game, and they kind of look upon me as like a father figure, and they told me they looked upon you like a grandfather figure, Dan. So I mean that makes you feel good.
Who looks older here? We'll be right back with action in the second half as the Texas Terra try to hold on and extend this league over the Minnesota Fighting Pike.
Another pizza delivery?
It's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Wow, could have fooled me.
DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza bakes up fresh like pizzeria pizza.
Wait a minute, so you mean?
Yeah, you'll never have to tip that delivery guy again.
Yes.
New DiGiorno Rising Crust Pizza.
Visit Hilo in July, donate $1 to Boys and Girls Country, and enter to win a new Chevy pickup. Hilo Auto Supply.
Come on, it's another episode of the Barks Animation Festival. So let's begin.
Oh, pretty puppy.
Barks has bite. Clever. Next. Next.
Root beer! You like that? Want some too?
That's intellectual and moody, but I like it.
What else you got?
Oh, time's up. Barks. Hey! It's the one with bite.
Can we order room service?
For the price of a Toyota RAV4, fully loaded, you could get a Kia Sportage, ridiculously loaded. With 4 doors and 130 horses, selling for around $3,000 less than a RAV4. There's no end to the fun you can have.
Honey, there's a squirrel in the hot tub.
Purchase a Sportage 4x4 for $199 a month.
Six Flags Fiesta Texas theme park. It's the all-new Joker's Revenge. Fat Man's arch rival, the Joker, is up to some new tricks. Ride backwards at incredible speeds on his twisting, turning, looping steel roller coaster. Unexpected thrills from the twisted mind of the Joker. It's the only ride of its kind on Earth. And it's only at the new Six Flags Fiesta Texas in San Antonio.
Welcome back. We're finishing up the halftime festivities here in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm Doug Dawson with Dan Patrick. And I want to let you know, I didn't know if you know this, Dan, but the nickname, you've heard of the Three Amigos and the Posse, and you hear all these nicknames of receivers around the NFL and college ranks in the Arena Football League. You know what their nickname is, their receivers?
No.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Well, that was the only Alvin you didn't name over the highlights. In fact, I have an Uncle Alvin. You left him out too. First half stats, Texas Terra, the edge in yardage, passing, rushing. Actually, the stats a little closer than I think the game is, because I think the Texas Terra have really taken it to the Fighting Pike. Time of possession, Texas Terra a little edge there, but the big stat, 34-23, Texas Terra on top. Richard DeFelice will be set to kick off. And Rena, if you're listening, she's marrying Richard tomorrow. I'm taking Richard to the airport tomorrow. He has a 7:15 flight. I didn't want him to have any excuses to miss the wedding, so I'm going to take him to the airport. So if he's not there, it's not my fault. The kickoff into the slack net, coming down to Doug's favorite player. Who is that, Doug?
Alvin Ashley, yes. One of the Chipmunks. I'm going to call him Chipmunk the rest of the night.
There you go.
I won't mess that up. That's right. That was Alan Ashby that caught for the Astros. I get that. I mean, that is a tough name. Try to say Alvin Ashley 5 times fast when you're on camera.
Yeah. I'm a professional. I can do it. You're an ex-jock.
I'm an amateur.
An offensive lineman on top of it. No, I think I think if we were keeping the score of wrong names tonight, we're even. About 3-3. Ricky Foggy back to Reggie Brown, and he catches it up to the 21st. 21st. The 21st. No, it's the 19th, actually. It's my wedding anniversary. It was the 21-yard line.
It was your 21st anniversary. As we see here, Ricky Foggy back to pass. Reggie Brown's been his go-to guy all night long.
Reggie Brown, 2 touchdowns on the night. Danny Lockett, Kelvin Harris, Wayne Dixon up front. Andy Coball, Lloyd Hill, the linebacker. Blackshear, Kendrick Bell, and Keato Malloy in the secondary. Ricky Foggy looking to Reggie Brown again. Reggie Brown came into the night with 12 TDs on the season. And that will tighten the score. 34-29 with the extra point attempt coming up.
I tell you, Reggie Brown, I mean, that guy can run great patterns. Just got Keato Malloy all twisted up. Just a post pattern from the right side to the left side of the field. And Ricky Foggy hit him in stride for the touchdown. A terrific play, and I tell you, Reggie Brown's an impressive young receiver.
Ty Stewart in for the extra point, and he misses it again. And that sets the score at a 5-point margin. That might come into play now. 34-29, Texas Terror on top. Exciting Terror action continues on UPN 20.
Chevrolet and the Texas Terror would like to thank you, the fans of Houston, for your support in our inaugural season in the Arena Football League. Thanks, Terror fans.
The Isle of Capri Casino is like no other. The Isle is an exciting Caribbean playground with a spectacular new entertainment pavilion, offering delicious, bountiful buffets, free tropical stage show review, free admission, free valet parking, and a free no-hassle parking garage. And now that our big yellow boat has arrived, you can enjoy 24-hour continuous boarding. For fun and excitement you can't find anywhere else, it's the Isle of Capri Casino in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
And guests on Texas Terror football receive a gift certificate from I.W. Marks, the official jeweler of the Texas Terror. There are a couple of ladies that look like they would love some jewelry from I.W. Marks. I'll have to make the trip down to Houston and see Irv over there inside the loop.
I call him Mr. Marks. They're waving. They think they're waving to Irv. They think they're going to get some jewelry.
Ty Stewart with the kickoff. And it may reach the net. It reaches the slack net. Rodney Blackshear stumbling out of the end zone and runs into the wall. A fan trying to say, give me the ball, please. Can I have it? Can I have it?
He runs into the wall, and they run him into the wall. Tell you, that was a tough catch off the net. You know, that's one of the disadvantages they've had practicing outside, is they don't really get an opportunity to practice on that net very often. You see the scoring drive.
And they've had some quick scoring drives tonight. That's the third scoring drive of less than 3 minutes for the Fighting Pike. Robert Hall, let's see if he can match up a second half with the first half. He's been almost perfect. Out to Lloyd Hill. Lloyd Hill breaks away up to the 12-yard line. And the Pike come away with the ball, but the officials calling it down.
I'll tell you, I really like watching Lloyd Hill after he's caught the ball, what he does with it. Last week, you remember, he ends up running over 3 guys on Florida's team and ends up bringing it in. And there we see Reggie Brown, 12 receptions, 162 yards, 13.5 yards every time he touches the ball for a couple of TDs. That is what you call, Dan, a go-to guy.
They're going to have to stop Reggie in the second half. Fake pitch out to Tyrone Thurman. Oh, there's a flag down. That pass concerned me. It looked like the Pike looking to pick it off. I think there's going to be a personal foul.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 95.
Called against Guy Howard, rather Roosevelt Nix, I think is going to get the penalty.
Yeah, that's a big break for Texas. As we see the call, personal foul, roughing the passer. Once he lets go of the ball, you can have one more step, and then you can hit the quarterback. If you hit the quarterback and take more than one more step, they're going to flag you every time. Whatever league you're looking at, college, pros, anything, they're constantly protecting the quarterback. As we see, Robert Hall's had a great night. 5 TDs, 75% of his passes completed.
Little motion. We'll see if it's on the tear. I saw the Pike move across
Contact,
the line.
Nose guard.
I thought it was going to be on the Pike unless he was drawn offside. So 2 penalties help out the Texas Terror.
I tell you, Dan, this game, we're going to see it's going to be a high-scoring second half also, and Texas is going to need to continually move the ball offensively. They got a tremendous amount of confidence right now.
That was John Paul Young, the head coach of the Texas Terror. Andy Coball, number 46, drops the ball. Bruce Lesane picks it up. And Andy Coball, I don't know if he ever had the handle on it. John Paul Young says, come on, guys, we have a 5-point lead. We don't want to self-destruct here. Mistakes have killed the Terror throughout this season. Especially in the third quarter, they've made some key mistakes in games they have been in. I don't think the handoff was clean. Bruce Lesane, who has been everywhere on the field. Let's watch it.
Let's watch it right here. Yeah, Coball definitely has the ball. He just gets, when you get hit, when you don't know you're going to get hit, he's looking down the field and he hits his hip hits the center as he's running by, and it ends up kind of throwing him off, and he just dropped the ball.
Just dropped it. So with a little under 11 minutes, Ricky Foggy has plenty of time, and are they going to call it complete to Alvin Ashley? They say no. And it didn't look like a catch to me, Doug. It looked like it skimmed off the ground, or it was on the ground when he picked it up.
And I don't think Alvin Ashley thought he caught the ball either, because he's walking all the way back, never turned around once. And I think he realized that he probably did not have possession of that ball. And one official was very adamant that he hadn't caught the ball, and that's usually the guy that saw it. It was tough to see. See, we can't, he had his back to us. So that official in the back of the end zone is the one that called it. Now, that is a good camera angle. Great camera work, as we saw it did definitely squirt it out. You could see it on the ground. Terrific job, guys.
Second down, and one more time, this time to Alvin Ashley in almost the same spot, same pattern, better pass. And that will make it 1st and goal to go from the 4.5-yard line of the Texas Terror. The Terror on top by 5, but that lead threatened right now in the third quarter.
I tell you, they offensively, Minnesota's really looked good tonight. Alvin Ashley running good patterns. Reggie Brown has about 12 completions. Alvin and the Chipmunks look pretty good tonight, don't they?
There's Alvin in motion. Bruce Lesane drops it. Kendrick Bell, Keanu Malloy. The fans don't like it.
Did you see him drop it? I'll tell you, this looked awfully. I mean, just a little jump pattern. Kendrick Bell was not looking at all.
Keata Malloy, I don't know what's wrong with that, Doug.
No, that's a very, 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 very poor call that comes out in favor of the Texas Terror. He was 3 yards inbounds. You cannot be knocked out of bounds. And, I mean, it was just, I mean, we got a great camera angle. He has the ball completely, gets pushed out, holds on to the ball. I mean, he even's laying down with the ball, and they called that. Big break for Texas. I'm not sure what that official was looking at.
Second down. They were looking to run the same pattern. It wasn't there, and it's intercepted. Intercepted in the end zone by Keata Malloy.
Big, big break. Unbelievable touchback, Keata Malloy. Terrific play. And what a heartbreaker for the Minnesota Fighting Pike. This might be the break that breaks their back.
They tried to run the exact pattern. It wasn't there. Foggy went back, looked to the middle. He really didn't have a receiver open, and Keata Malloy with a big interception.
And Ray Yock is not happy about that at all. Foggy's looking around, throws off the back of his foot. Keata Malloy just looked up as the ball got there, just makes a terrific heads-up grab to stifle their drive.
Keata Malloy, number 2 tonight, has changed numbers. As we said at the top of the broadcast, there has been a lot of shuffling of talent, new players. They have changed numbers throughout the season. He is now number 2. Turnovers tonight. You just saw both of them.
His foot. Keata Malloy just looked up as the ball got there, just makes a terrific heads-up grab to stifle their drive.
Keata Malloy, number 2 tonight, has changed numbers. As we said at the top of the broadcast, there has been a lot of shuffling of talent, new players. They have changed numbers throughout the season. He is now number 2. Turnovers tonight. You just saw both of them. The fumble by the Texas Terror, the interception. And there's referee John Safi talking to John Paul Young, the head coach of the Texas Terror.
I tell you, it's got to be fun. John Paul Young's got such a tremendous amount of respect. He's coached at every level, done a great job at every level. As we talked about, for you, many of you fans, the Love You Blue days, was an assistant under Bum Phillips for about 6 or 7 years. And just as a well-respected, super person, a great coach.
Spent a lot of years up at A&M. Good guy. First down from their own 3-yard line. Lloyd Hill in motion. Robert Hall looking to Lloyd, and he has it. Nice reception by Lloyd Hill, who is one of the nucleus of players, Doug, who is going to be a Texas Terror member for years to come.
Yeah, Lloyd Hill's just done a great job. He catches the ball when it's thrown to him. He is a very tough kid, as we mentioned earlier, out of Texas Tech University. And I love watching him. After he catches the ball, he gets every yard that he could possibly get. As we see here, the interception, pretty decent protection, but then they got a little pressure on him, and Foggy's kind of throwing on the back of his feet, and Keata Malloy on the back of his heels. Keata Malloy makes a great interception.
Lloyd Hill again complete, and the officials have given the Texas Terror another break. We had one of our receivers, and I could not see the number. We had one guy about 3 yards past the line of scrimmage, and they didn't call. They're complaining right now, saying, "Come on, guys." We did get a break.
He's saying, use your eyes, as we see it over there on the right side.
It's actually further up to the right. It was Tyrone Thurman out to the right who left before the snap. Robert Hall going deep. He has Blackshear. He's got it down to the 6, the 5, the 4. He fights down to the 3-yard line. Rodney Blackshear.
Unbelievable catch by Blackshear. I mean, that kid is great. What a player. Nice little post pattern. He's smiling. You see him. He's just going, Robert, keep it coming. I mean, Robert Hall just sitting back in the pocket. Tremendous protection. And Blackshear catches the ball and just cranks those legs. If it wasn't for the out of bounds, he'd have taken him all the way into the end zone. Tremendous second effort and great catch by Rodney Blackshear.
Great scoring opportunity for the Terror. They lead by 5, 34-29, 6:11 to go in the third. Andy Coball behind Robert. Oh, it's fumbled, and a flag down. Let's see if there was some motion.
False start on the center, illegal snap.
Great break. I'll tell you what, Doug, they've gotten the breaks tonight. They've gotten the breaks tonight. On that touchdown a few plays ago, it was not a touchdown. They missed an offsides or missed a illegal motion a few plays ago, and now that fumble from John Heidenreich, the center, who, by the way, when the season is over in a couple of weeks, is going in all seriousness, he'll be auditioning to be a member of the WWF. He wants to be a wrestler.
He scares me.
So a good break there. The flag was thrown. And he's a Terror. Maybe that's what will be in the ring. The Terror. Robert Hall back. Has Lloyd Hill in and out of Lloyd's hands on first down.
Yeah, I mean, John Heidenreich, he is 6'6", 315 pounds. Ugly as the day is long. No, I shouldn't have said that.
I'm telling him.
No,
I'm telling him after the game.
As we've mentioned earlier, an earlier broadcast, has tattoos all over the place. And he fits right in on that.
Do you know that for a fact?
No, no, you told me that. I mean, he fits right into that wrestling crowd.
Yeah, John is a character. Second down. Big scoring opportunity. And it's knocked down, flag down. We have both teams pointing at each other.
We've had a lot of flags in this drive.
Offsides, number 90 on the defense.
And the Texas Terror like it.
Another good break is Guy Howard was trying to cheat and line up offsides.
There'll be no cheating. There's no crying in baseball and no cheating in arena football.
No, it wasn't number 90. It was number 68. They called out number 90, but that was Brian Krulikowski.
So they get the down back and they get a little closer to the end zone.
Right in there, just jumps off sides. That's why 90 was upset, because he didn't want his name heard over the loudspeaker.
You told everyone, that's all right. Tyrone in motion with the pitch, and he'll get down to the 1.5-yard line. Looked like he had an opening to get into the end zone, but the hole closed quickly.
Yeah, they've used that sweep a lot this year and have not had a tremendous amount of success with it. Tyrone Thurman there, he kind of sees a little cutback lane, but it does get closed quickly down on the goal line as everybody is pursuing. They realize they can't give any space whatsoever.
Tyrone Thurman, 5 receptions on the night, 75 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. This is a big third down, because with a 5-point lead, if they don't get in, I suspect John Paul may go for the field goal. Andy Coball gets in for the touchdown, but there's a flag down. Let's wait for the call. There was movement in the line. Were they drawn off? It is.
Encroachment violation of second neutral zone, number 90. Penalties decline. Touchdown is good.
Touchdown, Texas Terror. They take the lead 40-29. John Paul and Bob Gambo, the offensive coordinator, like it.
I'll tell you, great second effort by Andy Cobal. This is his first year to play offense. Led Villanova in sacks, all-time sack leader, been an outside defensive end, and just does a great job keeping his feet moving as we see John Paul Young talk to Tyrone Thurman. Tyrone Thurman also has 47 yards return yards, Dan. That's 112 all-purpose yards for Tyrone.
Wrong. Braces are expensive. Wrong. A good orthodontist is hard to find.
Wrong. Call the Castle today.
At the Castle, we know that taking good care of your teeth is important, but we also know your budget's important too. So, your exam is always free, and if you do need treatment, there's a payment plan for everyone. So don't put it off. Call the Castle today.
The heat is really on this summer, but so is our half-price anniversary sale. At Fiesta, we cool you down with great produce. Fresh watermelon, cucumbers, mangoes. I could go on. 99 cents a pound. Nature's Own Round Top honey wheat bread, 89 cents. Farm Tender boneless and skinless fryer breast, $2.49 a pound. Win this 96 Nissan Pathfinder. Our half-price anniversary sale is cool. Fiesta.
We'd like to thank our friends at the Oaks Travel Group, particularly Brian over there, for carting all this beef around here on our TV crew this season. It's not just a trip, it's an adventure, but Brian and all the folks at Oaks Travel have worked hard putting our itineraries together, and we appreciate it back there in Houston. I said that Richard had been perfect on the night. Actually, he did miss one earlier. That's why the score is 41 and not 42, so he'll be perfect tomorrow night, though, at the altar. 7 o'clock, he's getting married tomorrow night. And he'll be perfect there, Rena.
Who's driving to the airport?
I'm taking him to the airport. He won't miss that wedding. Here's your friend, Alvin Ashley. Too much room to romp. Getting up to the 23-yard line.
I tell you, you see that all the time. It seems like the coverage team lets down a little bit when they bobble the ball. Richard DeFelice kicked kind of a duck this time, but yet it ended up being very efficient, getting through into the end zone, almost out of the end zone. And yet on the return, he ended up bouncing around, and they ended up kind of letting him. And here comes Alvin Ashley out and has a terrific return all the way out to the 22-yard line.
3:23 to go in the third quarter. The Texas Terror on top by a dozen. Foggy under rush has Ashley down to the 19. And you know, Doug, I don't know. There's a scoring drive, 6 plays, 45 yards, and taking 4.5 minutes off the clock. And Andy Cobal got a chance to redeem himself after fumbling in the prior possession in for the touchdown. I don't know how the game will end up 15 minutes plus from now, win or loss for the Terror. But I think John Paul has seen it all come together tonight. You know, hot practices in 100-degree weather, an 11-game schedule, preseason games a couple, and tonight it's come together for his ball club. He has to be feeling proud of what he's seeing out there. And that's complete. He doesn't want to see that, however, that much room on defense, as Ashley now has been the go-to guy. 5'9", and 140 out of Southwest State, Alvin Ashley.
I'll tell you, Reggie Brown and Alvin Ashley have combined for well over 20 catches tonight. Two very good football players that this defensive backfield and this defensive unit has got to stop.
Right in front of Wayne Dixon.
I'll tell you, you just got to give the defensive backs credit there. They just covered guys up, and that's a coverage sack right there. Had to slide down a little bit. Terrific job.
Jimmy King there, Troy Dickey. 3 sacks tonight for a loss of 25 yards. The best pressure game the Terror have had this season. Makes it second down. Looking for Reggie Brown out in the corner, and it's deflected. I didn't see who got the hand on it. May have been Darrell Lane, number 92.
I think it might have been, it was either Darrell Lane or Wayne Dixon. Just good pressure, though, up the middle. These guys are taking pride in rushing the quarterback, realizing if they don't get some pressure there, they are in trouble. Yeah, it's Wayne Dixon there. He's got his paw up there, good rush. As soon as he sees the ball about to be thrown, you raise your hands up, and you occasionally, the old blind squirrel finds an acorn, as they say. That was a great job by Wayne Dixon getting his hands up.
Closing out the third quarter here. Third down, big play here. Levine in motion. Foggy back under pressure, and it's intercepted. Danny Lockett, the big guy. Danny Lockett takes it up to the 16-yard line. Heads up play by Danny. Quick hands. That's a tough catch for a defensive lineman, Doug.
And he looks like he's a little bit hurt, but yeah, terrific heads-up play by Danny Lockett. Realizing the ball's going out to the fullback, he ends up falling back into the flat and making a great catch. And then he basically, I think, tweaks himself a little bit. We got to, oh my. As we see the replay again, I got caught with my eyes down on the field. There's a little bit of a brawl going on.
And a flag down, pushing.
Terrific play, though, as we stay like we should on the play on the field. Danny Lockett out of the University of Arizona.
After the play is over, personal foul, 94, personal foul, 95, they offset.
After the play, what happened, folks, Danny Lockett, who made the interception, got pushed by Roosevelt Nix, and they pushed each other back, and the officials did the right thing, offsetting flags. Danny Lockett, 2 sacks and 1 interception. Tell you what, we're going to have a tough time coming up with, well, I guess our MVP tonight, Robert Hall, is having such a great game, but we've had stellar.
He's our Iron Man right there.
Stellar performances. Yeah, Danny Lockett, Iron Man.
Absolutely, offensive and defensive, played both ways. I mean, just doing a terrific job. As he goes and gets a well-deserved rest over there on the sideline.
Lucius Davis in motion and complete down to the little guy, Tyrone Thurman, and that will end the third quarter. John Paul Young likes what he sees. The Texas Terror on top of the Minnesota Fighting Pike. It's 41-29. Terror fans, hang on to your seats. This could be their first breakthrough win of the season right here on UPN 20. Tyrone Thurman, the little guy out of Tech.
I'll tell you, the reason Tyrone Thurman's having a great game, Rodney Blackshear's having a great game, Robert Hall's having a great game, is that offensive line is protecting the quarterback unbelievably well. Think back on the first few games of the season, how poor the protection was. They are doing a phenomenal job. It all starts up front. That a boy.
Second down, Robert Hall has room to run, but he throws to attempting the pass, and boy, he had room to run. Of course, they don't encourage that too much in this league. You get hurt so easily. There's a flag down.
Right after I say how great the offensive line's doing and say that it's the reason they're winning and all that, Steve Clark ends up holding a guy. That's Murphy. They call that Murphy's Law. Not real good, but they are doing a great job. One play, that's okay.
Let's get the call. So far, Doug, the big play in the game is the touchdown by Minnesota that would have given them the lead that the officials didn't see. And then on the very next play, the Terror intercepted.
You see that holding play there by number 99. They'll get you every time when you do that. I didn't ever really do that like that, Dan. You know, grab the guys he's going by me. But there's Steve Clark, been playing great all night. He's got a little bit aggressive there with his hands. Still in good position, though.
Second and about 10, a little less than that. And Robert, they're going to say he threw the ball. I don't think so.
It goes right over McKinley's head.
And he was the declared tight end. And we've got a member of the Fighting Pike, I can't catch his number down, who was trying to make the play. Might be Mike Sunvol, number 68. And he ends up getting hurt. Yeah, that's Sunvold. Oh, he gets hit by his own man.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely went right over Derek McKinley's head, the tight end. And I'm not sure if Robert Hall saw him or not, so that's okay that they made that call, I guess. But
Nate Johnson, who was on the rush with Sunvold, and the last 2 plays, Doug, they have definitely put pressure on Robert. And there's a couple of guys that are enjoying the hot tub in their pants. Yeah, I think that should be a personal foul right there. The fish is thinking about jumping in.
The fish. You know, we've mentioned tonight, it's kind of interesting. I mean, I guess we could call this, as we see the penalties, it's about even on penalties, but I guess we could call this the animal appreciation night tonight. We've mentioned squirrels, we've mentioned chipmunks, and we've mentioned fish, the fighting pike. Well, you know, I've caught pike before. They don't really fight that hard, to be honest. I don't know where they came up with that fighting pike deal.
Yeah, but you see, Doug, you have to. I don't know where you caught your pike, but they do it out here when it's 20 below, cutting a hole in the ice, like grumpy old men. You know.
That makes them fighting. Whenever you're doing it 20 below, that's pretty tough.
John Sunvold still down, getting up slowly. There's Ricky Foggy, the quarterback.
In the stands.
What's he doing? Sitting in the stands? A couple of lovelies in the Target Center. I think those ladies root for the Rockets when they come in here to play the Timberwolves. Folks, 627 Dunk. Rocket fans, tickets were sold out all last year at the Summit. The only way to assure your tickets for next year is by putting your name on the waiting list for next season. If you put your name down on that $250 per seat deposit, you can guarantee yourself a seat in the Summit for next year. Don't delay. Reserve your Rocket season tickets now. Come out to see Akeem, Clyde, the new Rocket, Brent Price. At the point, call 627-DUNK to speak to a Rockets personal account executive. 627-DUNK. Call now. Also your Terror season tickets for next season. They had a great inaugural season, sold well over 4,000, set a league record for season tickets sold this year. Did the Texas Terror, and folks who have been out have really enjoyed it. There goes John Sunvold off, and we'll try to get word on the injury as Nate Johnson, I think he just rung his bell. I think his knee may have hit him in the chin as they were trying to bring Robert Hall down. Let's get back to the game. This is serious now. 13 minutes to go, a big drive, 3rd and forever. Robert under pressure gets out, finds Troy Dickey. He'll be about 7 yards short of the first down. Needed to get up to about the 7. He's down about the 14. See where they mark it.
I'll tell you, gets him a lot better position to kick the field goal, and I think that's what John Paul Young's going to do, sitting Richard DeFelice out. You know, you're talking about the Rockets and season tickets and all that kind of stuff. You got a guy like Hakeem Olajuwon, signs a $66 million. Does he have a car payment, do you think? I mean, you know, finance it over 4 or 5 years, or what? How's he do that, Dan? Do you know? That's good money now, don't you think?
I think that's good money, even after taxes. Richard DeFelice.
60% is pretty good, isn't it?
I know one thing, he's worth more than Shaq.
On the court.
You know what? We're going to take, there's a timeout on the field. The Texas Terror have called a timeout. We'll take a timeout here. We'll be right back.
Join the search for adventure this summer. X marks the spot of the Treehouse Island Adventure. This amazing new family attraction at Splashtown Water Park stands more than 5 stories tall, with super slides, swinging bridges, and surprises aplenty. This incredible water playground is the adventure you've been looking for. So round up the youngins and set sail for the Treehouse Island Adventure at Splashtown. It's great fun. Save up to $4 on general admission with specially marked Pepsi cans.
A new madman has unleashed his plans of global conquest upon the castaways of Gilligan's Island.
All I need is a pen, the deed to the island, and the Harlem Globetrotters to have the entire world in the palm of my hand.
It's the one movie that has it all. Thrill. Chill. Death-defying beats of strength. Dire villainy. The Harlem Globetrotters on Gilligan's Island. Sunday at 1 on UPN 20.
And folks, the season finale, Friday, August the 2nd, 2 weeks from tonight against the Tampa Bay Storm, one of the best teams in the league. Fan Appreciation Night. Come out and you might win a Frank mask. The Texas Terror want to say thank you. By the way, I think Frank is one of the best mascots anywhere in any sport. Frank is a great mascot for the Texas Terror. He's a lot of fun. The kids love him. It's always fun on the Summit. One more opportunity this year. Richard DeFelice, his first field goal attempt of the night from about 30 yards, and he backs up and tries it again. And he misses. I'm not exactly sure what that... Oh, let's throw a penalty flag here, ref. What is this? What is this? Cheap shot on Richard D. Flay. He's getting married in the morning. Give the guy a break.
No,
Can't be injured on your honeymoon.
He's riding with you in the morning. He's getting married in the evening. I don't understand what happens here. He goes up and stops and comes back. That is just bizarre. The ball looked like it was down.
Now watch this. Watch. Just down to the bottom of the screen, he just got leveled.
Well, the problem is, Dan, the whistle had not blown, and even kickers are fair game to hit. As we see right here, the referee sees it wallop.
The ball was dead down the other end of the field. Richard said, hey, wait a minute. I have a feeling he won't get an invitation to the wedding tomorrow.
No, he won't.
From their own 1-yard line, 11:47. This game's still anyone's ball game. Texas Terror need to play some good defense. 12-point lead. Not a huge lead in arena football. 41-29. The Terror on top. Robert Hall, if you've joined us late, has had an outstanding night. 5 TDs in the first half. They've run one in the end zone in the second half. Steve Clark, Derek McKinley, Kelvin Harris up front. Alvin Ashley out of bounds. Put on a couple of fancy moves, but he's out of bounds all the way back to about the 23 on his side of the midfield mark.
I mean, Dan, those were great moves. Look at these moves by Alvin Ashley. Unbelievable. Cuts back and just barely steps out, or he would have had a touchdown. Terrific play. Kiata Malloy ends up, let's see if we can see his foot. Right there. Yep, good call by the official.
Bruce Lassane will be moving in motion right there. Bottom of your screen. Flags down, under pressure. Another flag down, should be holding. This shouldn't count. It's a nice catch. It will be holding. Bring it back. Reload your pop gun there, folks. This one doesn't count. Give him the bad news there.
Holding, number 90 on the offense. Illegal formation. Number 52 on the defense. Penalties offset.
So holding, illegal formation on the defense. They'll have to do it again.
I tell you just saw right there, Kelvin Harris was lined up in the gap. You have to line up head up over the center. So it was just offset a little bit, and that's what they called there. But offsetting, I tell you, that's pretty good break. That's the second touchdown that's come off the board for Minnesota. And the fans do not like it.
Yeah, I think in Minnesota they say what bull moose. Bull moose.
Corn.
Yeah, bull moose. They actually run the, I don't know if anyone's ever been to Minneapolis, but they roam the streets here. This is like really being up in the Northwest Territory.
It's unbelievable.
I feel like I'm up in the Yukon.
I took a moose back from the airport instead of a cab.
Lassane in motion. Foggy looks for Reggie Brown, and Reggie has it down to the 15, down to the 14-yard line.
We got a hurt player down there on the right-hand side. It was a great play by Reggie Brown. Looks like Alvin Ashley, though, is in a lot of pain.
It was far away from the play. I didn't see it at all. I can't imagine what happened on the play since the secondary left him to go to the ball. So I can't speculate, folks, because I just didn't see it. He was down in the far, as you can see, he's over on the far right side of the field. The play went to the left and cut back to the middle.
We see Ray Yock. When it's your franchise, those head coaches come out every time, don't they? And he's had a tremendous night tonight. He looks like he's in a tremendous amount of pain.
Yeah. In other words, when you were hurt, Doug, the head coach never came over to see if you were okay.
Hey, they sent out like the 4th string assistant trainer when I was on the field.
Hey, you probably broke your thumb and your mom said, send him to the x-ray room, he's okay.
The broken bone, no, it doesn't keep me out. You know what I'm saying? I was tough, just ask me.
Yeah, the only problem when you broke your thumb, what, 6 times?
5,
was holding that cheeseburger.
Yeah, you can tell I still was able to get it down. No,
yeah.
It didn't hurt me too bad.
You had someone feeding you.
I'd say we don't mean to make light of it. We just hope Alvin Ashley is okay. It is fun out here, isn't it? Got people, got the dancers, got the crowds, got the hot tubs. Got our statistician, Ryan Gove, doing the Alvin and the Chipmunk move himself, working it.
The dancing stat man. Done a great job for us all season. And Alvin's still not up. We sure hope he is okay. Ricky Fogey out of the CFL, number 14. Has had a really solid season for an expansion team. Came into the night with 26 TDs, only 13 INTs.
He is a homegrown product, Dan. Went to the University of Minnesota right here in Minneapolis. I think it's in Minneapolis.
It is.
I drove by.
Fact, it's right across the street from the hotel, Doug.
Yeah, I thought it was. Well, I didn't know if that was University of Minnesota, South Branch or something, but played football here and is a hometown favorite. Doing a great job in their first year. It's kind of fun to be able to play a bunch of years in the CFL and have a good professional career and be able to come back and finish your career in your hometown where you played college football. Maybe he'll go into the insurance business like I am, start selling, when you get have a decent recognizable name.
I'll tell you what, folks, with Alvin still down, we'll take a quick time out here on UPN 20, and we'll be back with 10 minutes left of exciting arena football. The Texas Terror on top, 41-29.
Objective. Toyota Avalon 299 monthly. Toyota Avalon 299 monthly. Now. This offer will self-destruct July 31st.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
We're back with you, folks. Dan Patrick and Doug Dawson. And Ashley is still down, and this really is a mystifying injury, Doug. I just can't imagine what could be so seriously unless a knee maybe went out on him because he was away from the play.
Yeah, these guys, when they run their patterns, this AstroTurf, and you've heard it for years, and that's why a lot of teams in the college ranks and the professional ranks are going away from it, putting in natural grass. My alma mater this year, University of Texas, has had AstroTurf for 20 years, and they are switching Memorial Stadium to natural grass this year, and that's the reason, because it is tough on the players. It's much better to play on natural grass. Obviously, in the Arena Football League, we don't have that option due to the fact that it's indoors. But it looks like he's finally up. But he probably just was cutting. As we see, he's had a tremendous day, and that's going to be a big loss for Ricky Foggy if he doesn't come back in. 108 yards, 13.5 yards every time he touches the ball. Couple of touchdowns, a tremendous player.
We've had some fun with his name tonight, but he really has had a terrific game, and glad to see him walk off. That's the second Fighting Pike to go into the locker room. Sunvold went in a little bit earlier. So the head coach of the Fighting Pike will have to reach into the tank and pull another one out to replace him. Bruce Lesane in motion at the top of your screen. Ricky Foggy, it's batted down, and Jimmy King in the middle of the field couldn't quite reach it, nor could Kendrick Bell. Jimmy King, I tell you what, he's the young man we told you in his first start tonight. The team just picked him up from the CFL. He's had a pretty darn good ball game.
Terrific game. He's a talented young guy. He's 6 foot, 240 pounds. He is a stocky guy. I tell you, that's what you need for middle linebacker and fullback in this league, is a guy that can take a lot of hits and dish out a lot of punishment.
He's been around the ball all
night. Yes, he has.
Been around the ball. Foggy back one more time from the back foot, and it's a touchdown to Bruce Lesane of the Texas Terror. Finally broke and gave up the touchdown. There's a lot of football left, folks. 8:50 to go, and that makes it 41-35 with the extra point attempt coming up.
I'll tell you, we see on the replay here, I mean, Ricky Foggy, he can really put the ball on the money. Lesane ends up making a great grab, really, Kendrick Bell had pretty good coverage. He was right with him, just threw it, Lassane reached up and grabbed it with his fingertips, and it was just out of Kendrick Bell's outreached hand.
Yeah, Kendrick was in position, just went right through the fingers.
He almost, Kendrick's not a real tall guy, and Lassane is a little bit taller, and that was the difference on that play.
Looks like they're going to go for the two-point conversion. Foggy looking to pass it for two. No one open right now. Good coverage, but he does. There was no one open. And then Wayne Hawkins, who has not had a lot of playing time tonight, found a seam. That makes it 41-37. The Texas Terror with a 4-point lead, and they're about to receive the kickoff and hopefully score again.
Chevrolet and the Texas Terror would like to thank you, the fans of Houston, for your support in our inaugural season in the Arena Football League. Thanks, Terror fans.
You don't have to go to England to see castles and king's thrones. Just come and visit the subterranean world of Natural Bridge Caverns. See amazing natural stone formations like Castle of the White Giants and the King's Throne. Walk through underground chambers past forests of stone, emerald pools, and glistening stone sculptures. Discover the hidden world of Natural Bridge Caverns. It's an adventure the whole family will enjoy. Just 13 miles north of San Antonio off IH-35.
Doug, this two-point conversion took a long time to develop. Oh, this is the touchdown play here we're looking at to Bruce Lassane.
Just out of Kendrick Bell's outstretched hands. Unbelievable. Lassane made a great grab, and they have tightened it up with almost 8 minutes left. It's a 4-point game. We've got us the ball game, Dan.
Ty Stewart. The fans are revved up here in the Target Center. This has really been a fun night of arena football. This crowd has been very vocal tonight. Rodney Blackshear is back in the end zone for the kickoff. This will come off the net down to Rodney. Makes a clean grab out of the end zone, looking for room to run, and he is out of the grasp. And he's got room to run. Can he get by? Couldn't get by. The Fighting Pike. Guy Howard closed off the corner, or Rodney may have broken that.
Unbelievable return. He almost gets tackled. He comes out and back in. I think that would have been a safety. And he keeps his feet, reverses field up the right sideline. Just a tremendous individual effort. And look at his team coming back down to end up lead block for him. Just a great job. These guys are fired up, playing great. We see Rodney Blackshear there. Great return, good field position.
That's a key, that he was able to get it out of the end zone and up to the 20 to give them room to work. Robert Hall, little Tyrone Thurman, who's had a heck of a night, and there's a flag down.
We're going to have another roughing the passer, Dan.
Yes.
Personal foul, number 69, roughing the quarterback, blow to the head.
And that will only improve.
That's the 23-yard line, another 8 yards. They're down to the 15-yard line after one play.
Oh, yes.
Yep.
I mean, that was a real hammer job. I couldn't see the number.
Number 69. Sheldon Halliburton. I was in training camp with Big Sheldon. He was in Oiler training camp in 1992. He's a fairly big man. He's 6'8", 315 pounds. I called him Mr. Halliburton.
He really took the hammer to Robert Hall, so that moves the ball all the way down to 15. I tell you what, that's a big play.
Big play.
And big penalty. 7:12 to go. Fourth quarter, 41-37. Terror on top by 4, looking for their first win. And it's complete to Troy Dickey down to the 8-yard line. Robert Hall having a terrific night.
He is having an unbelievable night. Just, I mean, moving the ball around, using all his receivers. We've seen him go from his primary to his secondary receiver. The offensive line's giving him great time. Troy Dickey ends up, I mean, these guys are fighting for every yard. I mean, I keep looking down as we see one of the new additions to the Terror, Troy Dickey out of Arizona. I just look down at the bench, and they're so excited. Unbelievable.
Robert Hall looking end zone, finds Troy Dickey, bobbled in and out. Great touch pass, great effort, a little behind. That would have been a tough catch, but great effort. Hall is 24 of 31, 293 yards, 5 touchdowns on the night. And as you said, Doug, he has spread it around. 1 to Lucius Davis, 2 to Tyrone Thurman, 2 to Rodney Blackshear, and he tried to make Troy Dickey join the touchdown parade.
I mean, just a great pass by. I mean, really, Robert Hall puts it where only Troy Dickey can catch it, and Troy almost makes a great catch. I think would have had it if it were not for that defender coming off late and hitting him.
Third down, and about 4, and over Troy Dickey's outstretched hands. And now this becomes a big decision for Coach John Paul Young. You're trying to get your first win. There's 5.5 minutes to go. You're up by 4. Richard DeFelice, if he comes out and kicks it, you have a touchdown lead. Of course, with a 2-point conversion, 7 points doesn't give you a totally safe lead.
I'll tell you.
You know, Doug, we haven't seen a drop kick all season. That's good for 4. I don't think we're going to see one here. It's only been attempted twice this season in arena football.
The same guy, right, I believe.
This will be an attempt of about 24 yards. It's up. It is good.
Oh, yes.
Richard DeFelice with a crucial field goal with 4:55 to go in the 4th quarter, giving the Terror a 7-point lead, 44-37 here in the Target Center. John Paul Young saying, guys, let's play defense now, and we can get a victory tonight.
They've just done a terrific job tonight. Just offensively, they've been terrific. Defensively, they've risen up when they needed to. John Paul Young is just excited. You can just see it on the sideline. You can really see it's been building all season long. He's really been proud of these players, the way they've come back and fought through adversity and injuries and all the things that they've done. And they've just done a terrific job. And, you know, as you said it, we said at halftime, Dan, you get close to these guys, you start really liking them and hoping for the best for them. And they've really done a good job. And tonight needs to be the night.
You know, John Paul, of course, coached for a lot of years under Bum Phillips and has a lot of bum in him. First of all, he never goes anywhere without the cowboy hat. Loves to ride horses, and he's also pretty much low-key. Like, I mean, Bum would lose his cool occasionally with an official, but John Paul has shown great patience with his players this year. He is really, he's been a teacher to these players. Many of them, most of them, with the exception of a few veterans they've picked up along the way, have never played arena football. Offensive players learning to play defense and vice versa. He's been very patient. It's been a very stressful, frustrating season for the team, and John Paul's done an excellent job, I think, bringing them along.
I'll tell you, that was a crucial scoring drive there, as we just saw that Richard DeFelice field goal, almost 4 minutes coming off the clock. Terrific drive.
And there will be a big defensive series coming up here, because without the clock stopping until you get down to the last minute, a lot of time will run off if they can stop Minnesota here. Must stop the run back, and they do, but not until Adrian Lunsford brings it back up to the 19, giving Ricky Foggy room to work. You know, Doug, the Fighting Pike have scored 3 times tonight in very quick fashion. The key now is, if they do score, let's take some time off the clock.
Absolutely. I mean, Texas is definitely in the driver's seat. They're a touchdown up. They're going to get the ball back if they do score. So, I mean, they're in a great position, the best position, obviously, they've been in all year.
You don't want to give Minnesota really more than this one possession. Looked like there may have been offside by Danny Lockett. Reggie Brown with the catch. And I think that Danny was offside. And that catch to Reggie Brown, who's just having a whale of a night. This has been fireworks here tonight offensively.
Defense, penalties decline.
Danny Lockett was offside. Of course, they'll decline that. So they move down the field quickly. That's a first down. They're on the Terror 20-yard line. They're 20 yards away from possibly tying this up. You know, we haven't had overtime this year, Doug.
They are 20 yards away. They may go for 2. They were successful the last time.
That'd be a gutsy call when a point after can tie the game up for you. Let's hope they don't get the first 6 and we won't have to worry about that. Foggy back, looking for Reggie Brown deep. Boy, he's got all day to pass. And there's Alvin Ashley, and this is the first time he's come back on the field since being injured. Foggy had all day.
All day long. You just cannot do that. It looks like the defensive line for Texas is just tired, and they just did not rush the passer well at all. Broke free a little late there, but he is standing back there looking at his first, second, finally goes back to his third receiver, and Lucius Davis is in the end zone. Alvin Ashley ends up having a 10 or 12 yard cushion, just giving him too much.
Foggy 25 of 35, 326 on the night, having a great night himself. First down from the Terror 8, 3:19 to go, 7-point Terror lead. Reggie Brown gets a touchdown. And now what will they do with 3:12 to go? Will they go for the tie?
No, he's going for 1. He's holding 1 up. The kicker's coming out there going for the tie.
And that's the make sense call here, I think, for them.
No, it definitely is. I'll tell you, Reggie Brown ended up pushing off on that. They don't call that very often. But he basically pushed off. I can barely hear. It is so loud in this arena. It's unbelievable. We have some Pike fans right next to our booth here, making a lot of noise. And Ty Stewart up, and it's in the slack net. He had missed one earlier. And folks, with 2:33 to go, it's a board full of 4s, 44-44.
It was a night of terror, and those who survived will never forget Halloween.
What was living behind that boy's eyes was purely and simply evil.
Jamie Lee Curtis is running for her life in the horror classic of all time. The first of its kind to make a box office killing. The original Halloween.
Saturday at 3 on UPN 20.
It's going to come down to who is the better expansion team in the last 2.5 minutes.
What a game, and it is a deafening crowd. I cannot hear myself talk. It is an incredibly loud crowd here in the Target Center. These people, I've got about 15 guys next to me that after everything good happens, they turn and yell. Unbelievable. I may be talking a little loud for our fans at home, but it's hard to hear here.
You know, sometimes when you're involved and you get close to a team, you don't like to oversell the game. But the truth is, arena football is very exciting. It's very exciting to be there in person. The fans have had fun at the Summit all year. They're having fun here at the Target Center. Don't forget, folks, the season finale 2 weeks from the night in the Summit. Fan Appreciation Night. This is a fun game. The league is in its 10th year, expanding to 2 more teams next year. This is a sport that has arrived, and the Texas Terror hope to arrive into victory lane for the first time this season. The board's full of 4s, 44-44 in the 4th. Rodney Blackshear back for the kickoff. Return into the slack net. Rodney up the middle. There's a flag down. And Rodney's down by Roosevelt Nix. But there's a flag down. It's going to be against the Terror, and this is going to bring it back, Doug, all the way to their goal line.
Big break. Big, bad break for Texas. I mean, tremendous return by Rodney Blackshear. I love the way he runs the ball back. I mean, just straight north and south.
See if we can see the penalty here. There it is right there.
Yeah, if that was it, I didn't like it. Because, I mean, I saw that, and that looked like he pushed him from the side. But we saw 3 flags that say, and we have a discussion here going on. Maybe it's offsetting. Maybe one of the flags was not for that.
Right now they have the ball sitting on the 5. John Sophie and officials, who have blown a couple of calls, quite frankly, tonight in favor of the Terror up to this point, having a discussion.
They never blow it in favor of the Terror.
Well, they have tonight a couple of calls.
I know it.
Interference with the opportunity to catch the ball on the kicking team. Penetrating the 5-yard line. Then we have illegal push in the back on the receiver. The ball will be spotted as a touchback right here in the 5-yard line.
Well, I don't understand that at all.
No, you know,
offsetting, they kick it over.
Yeah, you should be kicking it over and giving the Terror another opportunity, particularly since their penalty came first. You have to be outside of the 5-yard line. You cannot penetrate the 5-yard line until they catch it. They had done that. Yeah, and that's one of the reasons Troy Dickey took the shot. The guy was on top of him. I don't like the call. 2:14, Robert Hall back. Complete out to Rodney Blackshear up to the 11-yard line. And the Texas Terror can run all the time off the clock and go down for the score.
They've got 2 timeouts left. Inside of 1 minute, they start stopping the clock. They're on the 11-yard line, which means they basically have 39 yards to go. So they have, you're right, they have plenty of time to make this the last possession of the game and hopefully come away with a victory.
Kelvin Harris, Steve Clark, Denny Lockett on the line. Andy Coball, fullback. Troy Dickey with the reception. Troy Dickey breaks away. He's down to the 22-yard line of the Minnesota Fighting Pike. Nice catch and run by Troy Dickey.
Tremendous catch and run. Unbelievable second effort by these receivers. Troy Dickey is a big kid. And just basically when he gets the ball and takes off running, he is 6'3", 226 pounds. Just really runs well after he catches the ball, like all of the receivers do. Make things happen. And I tell you, it's fun for a quarterback when you can throw a 3 or 4 or 5-yard pass and get 20 yards out of it. It makes it fun to play quarterback. I wouldn't know, I've never played quarterback, but I would imagine it does.
We're down to the 1-minute timing rules, meaning the clock will stop on out-of-bound plays and incomplete passes.
Has all 3 timeouts left. Texas has 2 timeouts left. The 1-minute timing rules are now in effect.
And the Fighting Pike will have to make a decision depending on how the plays develop, whether they use some of their timeouts. Dickey, who caught that reception, his 3rd of the night for 26 yards. Robert Hall, 26 of 34. This is our last UPN game of the season, the last televised game, and the last minute, folks, is going to be exciting. Full of 4s, 44-44. 4th quarter. Blackshear is in at 1 receiver spot. Tyrone Thurman, Troy Dickey in motion, and it's a fumbled snap. There's a flag down.
No.
I think it's going to be illegal procedure again, yeah. Doug. We will see.
Definitely illegal procedure. The center did not snap this football. Definitely was not snapped.
That happened earlier in the game, which turned out to be a break for the Terror.
False start, snap infraction on the center. There is no play, 3-yard penalty.
I tell you, the fans here do not like that. That is the absolute right call. Everybody moves, the center sits there. That you can't. That's illegal motion.
Now you said you haven't played quarterback, but you've played center. Have you done that?
I've played center. I've made every mistake you could possibly make. Okay, so I'm sure I've done it. Nothing comes to mind. Yeah, I guess it has. I mean, you know, it's when everybody moves and you don't. The only person that stands to think you're right is your mom. Thinks everybody else was wrong, and everybody else really didn't know the count.
Moms always take up for you. The clock is reset to a minute. Troy Dickey in motion. Robert Hall looking for Rodney Blackshear. It's complete. Rodney covers up the ball. And that will be completed up to about the 20-yard line. See where they mark it. Actually, they're giving him a few more yards than that.
They get him a nice mark there.
I don't know, maybe on the replay we'll see where he went out. I didn't think he went that far over the 20. I mean, there he is on the 20.
Right on the 20, yeah.
As the Fighting Pike take a timeout. He was right on the 20, Doug. They gave him a yard and a half.
Well, what I saw, I ended up watching what happened. They ended up, The official that looked like he was there to spot it ends up walking back to kind of break up him being pushed back so far. And the official from across the field, who I don't think had a real good view of it, ended up coming in and giving it to the 18.5-yard line. Good spot by the officials. We like that as we see the scheming and the play calling. John Paul Young is exhorting his players to play hard, guys. Our first opportunity to win a game this year.
John Paul Young and the Texas Terror gunning for #1. Next week, game in Albany will be on KPRC Radio. Matt Thomas with the play-by-play, and then the finale, August 2nd, in the Summit. The Tampa Bay Storm Fan Appreciation Night. Make plans to be there. Rodney Blackshear was in motion at the top of the screen. There's Troy Dickey again. Troy gets all the way down to the 9 before he steps out, and that will stop the clock at 44.5 seconds to go in the game.
I tell you, terrific pattern. Good patience by Robert Hall. Good call by Bob Gambold and his staff. Bob Gambold, the offensive coordinator. They're doing a terrific job.
I don't know what the lottery number is back home tonight, but there's 4444 with 44.5 seconds to go. Blackshear in motion at the bottom. Robert looking for him, and it is incomplete. That's the favorite go-to guy for Robert, former Texas Tech teammate.
Tell you, good protection, quick pattern. Just a little bit wide, and I tell you, I don't mind that though, because Robert Hall is keeping it from being intercepted. He threw that ball. He doesn't want to take a chance here. He wants an opportunity to score. They're inside the 10-yard line, plenty of time.
It is now 2nd down. Robert hits Blackshear across the middle. Does a great job, Doug, of holding on to the ball because he took a shot. He's down to the 2-yard line. And the clock stops now with a timeout with 30 seconds to go. We're going to take a pause, and we'll be right back. Don't go away for this exciting finish to tonight's Texas Terror game here on UPN 20.
It just got very high, that incredible universe. Very high. It's something we call 2 torrid days. It burns 9 to 9 on Saturday till closing time on Sunday, with blazing hot deals throughout the store. Even no interest for 12 months on everything. 2 torrid days at Incredible Universe.
Texas Terror fans, don't miss your chance to see one more Terror game in the Summit, the season finale. This season is defending champion Tampa Bay Storm blow into the Summit on August 2nd for the last game of this year. It's Fan Appreciation Night, and you could win a Frank mask. The Texas Terror, home at the House of Horrors. Run for your life and your seat. 2 weeks from tonight, folks. Well, Doug, do they pass, do they run? 30 seconds to go. Andy Coball in the backfield. He has run 1 in tonight. Robert Hall.
They pass.
Has thrown for 5. Robert looking to pass. And he has Rodney Blackshear for the touchdown. The Texas Terror take the lead. There are no flags down. The Texas Terror with 25 seconds to go. Blackshear with his 3rd touchdown of the night. 50-44.
I tell you, he was absolutely wide open on that play. Robert Hall held the ball a little bit longer, thinking to himself, there's got to be somebody closer to him. He just held it and just, oh, perfect execution for the touchdown.
What a second half of the season Robert Hall and Rodney Blackshear have had. The kick up, it's good. Richard D. Felice with the kick puts all the pressure now on the Minnesota Fighting Pike. Here's the touchdown, Doug.
Tell you, Robert Hall, little pump fake, waits for him to just clear out. And Rodney Blackshear is wide open, just like they did it back in West Texas at Texas Tech University.
That's a great drive, Doug, and a great score. They got the ball with 2.5 minutes to go. A penalty nullified a terrific run back. They started from their own 5. They've taken 2 minutes and 5 seconds off of the clock, and they have scored.
I tell you, Dan, this is going to be a fun plane ride home. As Robert Hall just had all the patience, had the patience of Job, waiting for Rodney Blackshear to open up, and Rodney Blackshear is going, yes, yes, yes. And this is a long time coming for these guys that have been on the team all season long. Rodney Blackshear wasn't here from the beginning, but he was here about the third game on, and these guys are excited.
Robert Hall has thrown 6 TDs on the night, number 19 for the season. 5 plays, 45 yards, 205. Rodney Blackshear has caught 15 TDs on the season. And this is the future you're looking at. If you're a Terra fan, this is the future. But they must hold now 25 times. 25 seconds is a lot of time for Ricky Foggy and company to come back. 51-44. The Terra defense needs to hold, and they need to cover this kick. It's off the net. Alvin Ashley has room to run. Danny Lockett arm tackles him at the 16-yard line, and that was a key tackle. He only had Richard DeFelice standing between he and the goal line.
Big play by Danny Lockett. Terrific job. He should get the Rydell Ironman Award for tonight's game. A couple of sacks, interceptions, just done a great job.
And of course, the MVP tonight has to be Robert Hall, who has been just spectacular. Coming into his own as a quarterback in the Arena Football League. Time for the Terror to hold. Ricky Foggy looking all the way to the end zone, and he has a man wide open. I don't believe it, Doug. Alvin Ashley on about a 58-yard pass to his fingertips from Ricky Foggy. Brings the Fighting Pike to within 1. He's back on his 6-yard line, Doug. That's 45 plus the 8-yard end zone, and he got all of the end zone.
Hey, Dan. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'll tell you something, Richard DeFelice is going to have a chance, though.
Yes. Well, they have to make this point after. He's missed tonight, Ty Stewart has. This is a huge kick. This is not guaranteed. But he makes it. And this has been a heck of a game, folks. We hope you enjoyed all of it tonight. We still have 14 seconds and maybe overtime. It's 51-51. Here's the TD, Doug.
Unbelievable play. Foggy has plenty of time, just throws a perfect strike. And you just cannot say enough about Alvin Ashley. Gets hurt earlier on, goes into the locker room, comes back out, and just runs. You know, Kendrick Bell really should not have let him behind. I mean, never in a million years. With 21 seconds left, you let a guy get behind you by that many yards. But it just shows the type of speed that Alvin Ashley has. He is a fast, talented young man. And Ricky Foggy just sure can't throw the ball.
Well, now the key is to make a clean reception off the net. If they kick it, they may try to kick it, dribble it down the middle of the field. But depending on how much time the run back takes off, maybe time for one pass to set up a field goal, or Richard may have to come on from wherever the run back is.
I definitely think this return is key. And if just no penalties, these guys cannot afford to have a penalty. Rodney Blackshear will make something happen on this return. And if he does, it's going to be an exciting finish to the game.
This has been a heck of a football game, and we're glad that we have been able to bring it to you on UPN 20. And once again, the team is really appreciative of the support from the fans this year. They know it's been a long season as an expansion team, and they appreciate your support and look forward to thanking you on Fan Appreciation Night 2 weeks from the night in the Summit. Here's the kickoff. Line drive, and that will sail over Rodney's head, and that will bring the ball out to the 5-yard line.
Now, they definitely will have time for one good play.
Maybe two.
Maybe two, you're right, because they do have 2 timeouts left.
And
no time went off on that because the ball was not touched in play. So a couple of good passes by Robert Hall get him in closer position for Richard DeFelice.
Now, if this game goes into overtime, folks, the overtime rules are a little different in arena football. If you get the ball and score first, the other team does have an opportunity to come back and score. But after that, it's whoever scores next. We'll see if we get to overtime. Hopefully, they can score right now. Complete out to Rodney Blackshear, stepping out on the 16, 8.5 seconds to go. Will they chance one more play to get it closer for Richard?
They've got to. I think they definitely will. They'll just, Robert Hall, as soon as he releases the ball, Bob Gambold right over there is telling him, as soon as you release the ball, you start calling timeout to the referee. He'll be right behind you. Get a timeout called. We just saw Richard DeFelice. Everybody's patting him, saying, you're the man, Richard. This is what we've been waiting for all year. He's going to do a great job when he comes in.
Do they try to catch the Fighting Pike off guard and go for it all in the end zone? No, they're running 3 short patterns. And Alvin Ashby was on top of Tyrone Thurman. It's down to 4.5 seconds. And here comes the man of the moment, who's getting married tomorrow night at 7 o'clock down in Missouri City. I know his wife is to-be wife tomorrow. Rena is watching, probably making sure the wedding dress is fitting right, watching her husband to be here.
Win a game.
Win a game. This would be a great story to tell your family one day.
No doubt.
I kicked the winner the night before.
I kicked the winner the night before we conceived you, Junior. That's beautiful.
Timeout is called. And they'll give Richard time to think about it. This will be a 50-yard attempt. And Richard has kicked 2 longer than that this year.
You know, the interesting thing, this is going to be, how long is this going to be?
This will be a 50-yard attempt.
A 50-yard attempt. You remember, now I know it's not on UPN, but remember the Seinfeld where George wanted to name his kid 7? If he makes this, I say, and they conceive tomorrow night, they name their firstborn son, they name him 50. How'd you get your name?
Dawson, it's been a long season working with you.
That is good.
And you've been so good until the last 4.5 seconds.
50 DeFelice. Hey, 50, come on over.
Will you give him a couple of years to enjoy life?
I thought it sounded good.
This is big. This is big for this franchise. $50 yards. He can do it. He's got the leg. He's done it before. It's up. It's long enough. It is good. It is good. Richard DeFelice wins the game for the Texas Terror. There's no time left on the clock. They better get together and buy him one heck of a wedding present. They're mobbing Richard. What a great way to win the game. Richard DeFelice, 50 yards between 9-foot uprights. The Terror come away with their first win in franchise history. What a way to win it.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable celebration. These guys have been waiting for that for so long.
They're bringing out a bucket. There's Keith Garnett, the trainer. They've got a
John
bucket.
Paul Young.
Paul Young. Dousing with water.
Unbelievable.
There'll be fun at the hotel tonight, Doug.
That is great. Terrific ending.
It couldn't get any better than this. 54-51. It took 4.5 seconds for the ball to travel that 50 yards. We'll be right back to wrap up this great story here in the Target Center as the Terror win.
Hey, how much do you think your boss makes? $100,000? $200,000? More? Wouldn't you rather be the boss?
Then come to the Be Your Own Boss Expo. See the latest franchises, home businesses, free seminars, part-time opportunities, and more.
I never dreamed I could be living like this. It's such a relief to have extra money.
Now I have time to spend with my family.
There's no better job security than being your own boss.
Now I work for me.
This weekend only at George R. Brown Convention Center.
It's terrific.
Yo! Catch this.
Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey. It's the greatest show on earth.
Whoa.
Playing the Summit July 17th through 28th. Buy tickets at the box office, Ticketmaster, or charge by phone.
This fall, only UPN will bring you back-to-back nights of science fiction, and that's a fact.
Nothing can stop us, Doctor. Nothing.
Prepare for the Tuesday world premiere of The Burning Zone. Then on Wednesday, it's the back-to-back premieres of The Sentinel and Star Trek Voyager.
Let's see if you manage to survive.
This fall, when you think of Tuesday and Wednesday nights, think of science fiction back-to-back. It all begins September 3rd on UPN.
Death Wish 2. Bronson's loose again. His world is ripped apart by a new pack of kill-crazy punks.
Is this your daughter, Mr. Kersey? Mr. Kersey.
And one by one, he'll even the score his way. Death Wish 2.
Sunday night at 7 on UPN 20. The Texas Terror on UPN 20 has been sponsored by Bill Hurd Chevrolet Sugarland. Whatever it takes, the official dealership for the Texas Terror.
And Doug, what a way to finish our televised season on UPN 20 with this 50-yard kick.
Unbelievable kick by Richard DeFelice. Did a damn unbelievable job here. They end up coming out mobbing him. Big victory.
The executive producer of Texas Terror Football is Joel Blank. Tonight's game has been produced by Chip Sago, remote facilities by IVL and American Cablevision. Catch the next Terror home game when defending champ Tampa Bay Storm blow into the Summit on Friday, August the 2nd. Be there for Fan Appreciation Night. Coming up next on UPN 20, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. For Doug Dawson, all the staff at UPN 20, this is Dan Patrick saying thanks for watching Texas Terror football this season, folks. We hope you have enjoyed it, and you'll be back with us next season and be in the Summit in 2 weeks. Good night, everybody. It was a great win.
The heat is really on this summer, but so is our half-price anniversary sale. At the